249 miles of college football. Plus, if you're in Kansas City, you can listen to the play-by-play of the Chiefs game with Mitch Holtis, Danny Hughes, and our guy Kling. Download the free Odyssey app today and follow 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
This football season, let Smokehouse Barbecue cater your tailgate. A pound of burnt ends, a pound of wings, a slab of baby back ribs, a quart of beans, paperware, and serving utensils for $6 for just $79.95. Plus, they have a new chicken wing sauce. It's Sweet Zing. It's a sweet flavor with a kick. Check out Smokehouse Barbecue in Independence, Gladstone, and Zona Rosa, or at smokehousebbq.com. For over 35 years, locally owned and family operated, it's Smokehouse Barbecue.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text HUNK to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text HUNK to 42424. That's HUNK to 42424.
Give me the VIN.com salutes Old Blue Eyes. Academy Award-winning actor and legendary singer Frank Sinatra was born in Hoboken, New Jersey on this day in 1915. Of course, Sinatra owned a lot of awesome cars. Cadillacs, a 62 Dual Ghia, a 76 Jaguar, and his favorite, a 1955 Ford T-Bird. If you've got classics or collectibles, go to gmtvcc.com. You'll have the world on a string with a great offer fast from America's best car buyers.
Sell us your car. Give me the VIN.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
A Gain Scent Bead story. Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said, "Maraca, senor," but his nose said, "Hey, freshest scent ever." Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring a bottle of Gain Scent Beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, "Sir, your scent Maraca smell amazing." Actually, Jim, most noses call them Gain Scent Beads. Try Gain Scent Beads. Way fresher than detergent alone.
Kansas City, we know cold weather is no match for warm hearts. With over 2,000 people unhoused in and around the Kansas City area, 96.5 The Fan needs your help. Working with Unity Southeast and KC, they are in immediate need of your gently used warm winter coats and can drop off winter coats to any of the KC area Tide cleaners. Check out the Unity Southeast Warming Shelter's Amazon wish list at unitysoutheastandkc.org or find links and learn more at 96.5 The Fan, your new home for Chiefs football. KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Happy Thursday to every single one of you out there. Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on 96.5 The Fan.
No happy Thursday to Nick Bender at Channel 9, who just posted his forecast for today, Wednesday.
Oh,
and
really?
I started thinking, is it Wednesday again?
No, you're not in the Twilight Zone or
what is that, Groundhog Day? Where you do the same thing over and over again? Mac, you ever see Groundhog Day?
Oh, he loves it. Says the top 3 movie is.
Oh, really?
All right,
I never said that, but I do love that movie.
You think it's the best movie you've ever seen, you said,
Yeah,
huh?
best movie of all time.
That's crazy.
Now, are anybody in this room one of those people that's like, Shawshank Redemption's the greatest movie I've ever seen?
I love it.
I think Bob and I both are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your number one?
No, it's top 3 for me.
It's
I think it's Mount
definitely up
Rushmore.
there. Yeah,
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I think it's a fantastic movie.
So good.
I wish I could tell you what happened in that laundry room that day to Andy Dufresne.
Oh, I think we
wish
know.
I could tell you.
I think we know.
I think the best part of the movie is he gets suds for his buds when they're doing the ceiling.
You know, every time I
Yeah.
drink a beer, I kind of think about that. Like, is 3 beers really like making you feel like a free man on top? And I guess it is, man.
Yeah,
If you don't have beer and get the opportunity to sit in that beautiful sunshine and, do some work and whatnot because you're locked up and you have an opportunity to have 3 beers, hell yeah, let's go, baby.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes in the summer, I got to be careful because I'll like mow the lawn, see the fresh cut grass, crack a beer, and be like, oh man, this tastes better than I thought.
Sometimes they taste better at certain parts of your life, mowing the lawn after a hot one. I mean, it is really good. Hey, look, the North Carolina coach is on TV talking football.
That's right. Bill Belichick, man.
How about that, huh?
Thriving.
Are we surprised that Bill Belichick is the new head coach at North Carolina?
No.
No, I don't think anybody is.
I think we're just more surprised it's North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we're surprised he's a coach somewhere in college.
Yeah.
I just figured if he was going to go anywhere, which debunks the theory that I have, but I mean, we could talk about it all day today. It's the number one story in sports, believe it or not.
Yeah, it is.
Bill Belichick, once again, Chiefs are 12-1. He says, actually, let me become relevant once again.
Yeah.
But no, I just think that it's we talk about Renaissance all the time on the show. I just don't think that you necessarily have to go to a massive university of the past to prove that this is a huge, big job for it. I think he's going to be, I don't know. I can't predict the future because, and we'll talk to Ben Ballard about this at 7:15. But like, the thing is that like systems have to work, but they have to be believable. I think that is the take on coaching. And we see how it works in sports. Deion's works in Colorado. Obviously, the portal and NIL money is massive. He's going to a school where Michael Jordan is your backing. Michael Jordan's logo is over half of college sports. I think it's like a Michigan's jersey.
Isn't it only like 3 or 4 teams that have the Jumpman logo? I think it's Oklahoma, I think it's Michigan, and I think it's North Carolina. And I think those are the only 3.
I thought Jackson State was one too.
It may be. It very well may be.
And there's probably schools that we don't think about. But long story short, the college football world is legitimately now, like you guys asked for years, when are we going to ever have a minor league football system?
We got it.
This is it now.
Yeah.
Coaching-wise, playing-wise, like now you know what it's like to have money, what it's like to represent a business or a brand legally. You can pretty much be a free agent every year if you want to. And if Belichick's way works and people believe it, like Deion's way works, man, real simple. He's hip. He's a vibe. He's relatable. He's fun. He's respectful in there, and his players, they captivate that attitude and they believe it. Belichick isn't that sort of personality. He's more so like, what are you doing? Why are you here? But again, if somebody can believe it and like it, I mean, dude, it's the greatest coach in NFL history.
Yeah.
Right? At least for now. And now you can take that into college and maybe people will start to gravitate towards North Carolina. I mean, North Carolina is a fun university,
Sure
right?
It is,
Basketball, baseball's great. And
you just have to wonder how many kids getting ready to go to college remember when Bill Belichick was a relevant coach in the NFL.
And that can help him. That can help or hurt him.
It hasn't been a hot minute since Bill Belichick has been a relevant coach in the NFL, right? Since Tom Brady left, that was right around COVID.
So you're 2016, 2017?
Yeah, you're talking a good like 8 or 9 years.
Almost a decade.
Yeah, where Bill Belichick was truly the last time he was truly a relevant head coach. And it happened so fast. That's why I say all the time, there will be a guy drafted by the Chiefs in the next year or two who has no idea that Andy Reid coached the Philadelphia Eagles. I promise you that. There are kids today that are, in school, in high school, that have no idea that Andy Reid was the coach of the Philadelphia Eagles because it happened so fast and change happens and boom, and then the young kids and they don't know what happened yesterday, let alone 10 years ago or 12 years ago where Andy Reid
I don't know what happened
was
yesterday.
coaching, right? So I think this Bill Belichick thing is very interesting. Obviously, to me, he called everybody in the NFL like probably 3 times and went, I'm really going to take this North Carolina job. And they're all like, okay, great. Good for you. Go take this job. Like, I think he tried to float it out there to see if anybody in the NFL would bite and hire him because he's, 14 wins away from being the all-time winningest coach in NFL history, and nobody bid on Bill Belichick. And so North Carolina did, and he's got like a 400-page, proposal of how to turn this thing around. And I mean, it follow the Bible and see what happens. But it's all about about, to me, with Bill Belichick being relatable to the kids and then having the money. They got a $20 million budget they're going to have, and they've already hired Mike Lombardi to be their GM. What other lackeys from, the Parcells, Belichick tree are going to end up there? Josh McDaniels and all these guys.
He's the most excited one out of everybody.
It has to be, right?
But I think he could work in college. I know he's kind of an ass in the pros, but I think his style would work in college.
It might.
Because he's younger. He's kind of hip with it. He can be like, hey, look, I coached Brady. Oh, really? Okay, come here. Yeah.
So we'll see, how it all plays out. But I love the fact that college football now is doing what they're doing, because for me,
it's a free-for-all.
I mean, I've got my Ohio State rooting interests, but I've kind of always been a free agent with college football because it's just never really truly appealed to me, as a legit sport because of the way things were going, and it was always the big boys that just always won and bullied everybody else. Now we got
Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yeah, a little bit. No, but I was thinking more like Alabama, Clemson. Over the years,
in that realm,
obviously,
for sure.
Obviously, Michigan, all that. But now I love the fact that it is opened up, and there are so many opportunities now for everybody else if you're willing to play the game the right way.
1,000%.
And you had mentioned something about these college kids getting the opportunity to represent a brand, and it got me thinking a little bit, saying, you know what, that's what college is about: preparing you for your job, preparing you for your real life. And so, if you have the opportunity as a college student to be a quote unquote influencer or a brand representative and things like that, that's going to help you when you become a professional athlete. You already have that experience. You already know. There's a track record in place. So I just absolutely love what's happening in college sports right now. I hope college basketball gets this way as well. I mean, BYU's getting the top college basketball recruit in the country because they gave him $7 million. I mean, BYU's getting top college football players right now. Is Andy Reid going to end up at BYU? I mean, I joke, but with the trend of the way things are going right now in college football, you got to wonder who's going to be the next big time star that we're not talking about right now that all of a sudden is standing there at the podium leading a college football program. So I think it's a great day for college football. I'm very interested in what Bill Belichick's going to do, and I think all of us as sports fans are probably going to pay attention to North Carolina football. They've already won. They've already won by hiring Bill Belichick.
Yeah, it's going to gravitate attention like Deion does, but in a different way.
Yeah.
Like Deion, you look at, I think a lot of people watch Deion in Colorado like, this isn't going to work. I'm going to watch it fail. Or there's people like me that were captivated right away with, first day when he walked into Colorado's facility, he's like, get the portal going, boys. I got a whole bunch of luggage coming in tomorrow. So if you don't think you're going to be here, then I suggest you get out. And everyone looked at it as like, he's being a jerk. No, he's being relatively honest to let you know, like, hey, instead of wasting your time, get ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just letting you know, I've got kids coming. You have the opportunity now to either try to play it out and show me something that I haven't seen yet, or if you don't want to do that, you have the freedom and the right to go try it elsewhere. That, to me, is awesome.
Yeah.
And that's the same way Belichick is. Belichick can go in there day one and be like, I'm a red ass. This is how I do things. If you don't think you're going to like it, there's the portal.
Right.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very interesting watch from afar, and seeing how he makes that adjustment to college. I mean, he said over the years that he'd like to coach a college program. Most people thought he'd go, to one of the service academies or an Ivy League school or something smaller. But I mean, this is the big time. This is the ACC, and the expectations are there, and we'll see if he's able to live up to those expectations. And then his son's going to take over in 3 years. So that's really why he got the job done, because now he's put his son in place to be the head coach at North Carolina.
I think that's the big thing. Like I look, it's the biggest story that we've seen in the last 2 days in sports, which is what's meriting this conversation. But like, I don't necessarily have the same opinion because, like you said, his son's there. I think that's one of the things where I think Bill Belichick still coaches in the NFL. I think he still could have coached in the NFL, but I think that he's like kind of under this like prove it sort of window because I think he still has like some outrageous demands. Like, I still think he wants a lot of power, and a lot of people are seeing how that doesn't work in the NFL.
It doesn't work in the NFL.
Like, Andy Reid tried it, realized it, tore him down in Philadelphia, moved on to Kansas City, and it's been a 180 of a career.
Yeah.
And he was great in Philadelphia. Right. You look at guys like Jerry Jones, who's like, he has full control. Bill Belichick, I think, still probably wanted some of that stuff. So I don't think it's true that nobody in the NFL wanted him. I think if you were to ask everybody in the NFL outside the teams that have lockdown coaches, which is 5, you'd probably be like, would Bill Belichick be an option? yeah, we consider it, and then that's the part, consider. And then you get down in the meeting with Bill Belichick, and you're like, so you're not going to be the general manager, so we'll let you know that. And then it's arms crossed, like, well, we need to talk about something else then. And it's like, okay, well, if that's where it stops, then that's what it is. Like, Bill Belichick would be the perfect person to have on a date. Hey, I'm going to tell you 3 things that I love, and if you don't like it, it's off.
Yeah.
And that's how his coaching thing is. I think that's how it went in the NFL because he's too close to the wins to not have another chance in the NFL.
What? But I don't think people want to deal with the ancillary stuff. And
but he's going to have to remove that. That's the thing. And time is the only thing that can fix that.
And do you expect Bill Belichick to coach in the NFL again? I don't.
I do.
I don't think he will. I mean, I'd love to see it. After 3 years of college, 75-year-old Bill Belichick rolling into, wherever. Or he may do what he did with the Jets and quit on the first day at North Carolina if the Giants job were to come open. Because that's always been kind of his dream job, if you will. Right. If that job were to come open, I'm sure he called the Giants about 10 times and said, are you sure you're not going to fire Dayball? Are you sure you're not going to be making a move? Because I'm getting ready to take this North Carolina job. Hey, Mara, are you sure you're not going to make a change there? No, we're good, man. Okay, fine. Then I'm going to take this North Carolina job. Fine, go take the North Carolina job. You got Lawrence Taylor's blessing. Let's go and see what you can do. But I think things have changed in the NFL where you're just not going to allow one person to be the end-all, be-all, person in your front office on your sideline like Bill Belichick was. That just doesn't really work anymore. It's too hard of a job to have that opportunity to do all of it. So it's interesting that nobody would meet his demands in the NFL. I don't blame people for not meeting his demands in the NFL. There are other coaches out there. But this college thing is going to be just wild to see how he adjusts to being a college coach versus being an NFL head coach, because I do think it is a big adjustment.
The other thing, too, is that I know we got to get to a break, but the trend in college is young coaching.
Yeah.
And the only ones that really aren't are the teams that have actually just sustained it. Tomlin, Harbaugh, Reed. Those are probably like the most. I mean, those are the guys that are there.
Do you consider McVay a young coach still?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is he 40 yet?
No, he's like 32 when they won the Super Bowl. 33. But you look at them all: Shanahan, McVay, the guy in Arizona, Raheem Morris in Atlanta, Dan Campbell. I would consider young.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So I mean, that's the trend of the old guy football coach, 72. It's not there right now. And the ones that stay around are the ones that can successfully say, hey, I've sustained this, so just don't bother.
And really,
it's almost like, no pun intended, they've grandfathered their way into it.
Yeah, but you mentioned Andy Reid, and I think
66,
67, like But Andy Reid, man, like you talk about a guy who changed too.
Yeah,
he adapted and adapts every day, and that's why they have success. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Veach is young. I bet Veach could be a head coach and be successful. But I guarantee
Andy Reid has changed his style of coaching, his style of offense to work with the talent that he has instead of forcing a square peg into a round hole. Like Andy Reid has done that. I don't know that Bill Belichick was willing to do that in the NFL.
There's a lot to that. We'll get to the injury report that was spoken to about yesterday at the media availability, plus the new addition, Steve Nelson, joins the team. We'll dive into all that Chiefs talk on the other side. You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Fellas, it's Dusty Likens once again to remind you about my friends at Diamonds Direct and to tell you that if you're looking for the perfect holiday gift this season, that's where you need to go, is to my friends at Diamonds Direct. Maybe you're looking for a pair of classic diamond stud earrings for your special lady, something new, eye-catching from a world-class designer, or maybe, just maybe, you're looking for that perfect engagement ring. At Diamonds Direct, they have the perfect gifts for the season, starting around $300. This is your best destination for holiday jewelry. And if you don't believe me, go to their online seasonal gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. Whether you connect online or in person, you're guaranteed to get the extraordinary service Diamonds Direct is known for. And to help make your purchase even more affordable, Diamonds Direct has special financing so you can spread out your payments. Get that perfect gift. Get that great engagement ring to make this holiday even more special. Go to 4500 West 109th Street in Leawood, Kansas. That's right, in Leawood, Kansas, and see my good people at Diamonds Direct. Best jewelry store ever.
I'll tell you what, my friends over at Foaling want to have you have a happy holiday season, and that means doing something fun with the family. That means doing something fun with your friends. That means doing something fun maybe on a date night or for a holiday party. Foaling is the answer to all of your where should we go questions because they literally have something for everyone. Foaling is football plus bowling plus bar, and that equals Foaling Warehouse, Kansas City. It's KC's best entertainment venue, and it's located at 435 and State Line. It's a mashup of football, bowling, drinks, and fun. Essentially what Foaling is, bowling with a football. Yeah, you heard me right. You're going to set up those pins. You're going to throw that football. You're going to knock them down. The first person to do that wins. You re-rack and you play again. Foaling is outstanding. And like I said, it's perfect for everyone. Whether it's a date night, whether it's a family night, whether it's a company party, Foaling has got you covered. So you can check them out and reserve a lane at FoalingKC.com. And if you're planning a party at Foaling, don't forget, you can bring in your own food. You can cater your own event at Foaling. Just take advantage of their world-class bar and bring in your own pizzas or barbecue, whatever it is that you want. Foaling Warehouse is the place to host private and corporate events. So reserve that lane at FoalingKC.com. That's FoalingKC.com and get your Foal on.
Winchester, a Lake City Army ammunition plant in Independence, is the largest manufacturer of small caliber ammunition for the U.S. military. They're hiring technicians starting at $26.72 an hour with a $1,000 hiring bonus. Excellent day one benefits include medical, dental, educational support, paid time off, and company retirement contributions up to 8%. Join Winchester and serve the U.S. warfighter. It's more than a job. It's a mission. Apply at winchester.com/careers.
It's Thirsty Thursday at Hy-Vee. Time to stock up the bar and fill up your tank. Earn 50 cents per gallon fuel savings on every $50 purchase of wine, beer, hard seltzer, and spirits. Mix and match all your favorite libations and get a 50-cent fuel saver with every $50 purchase. Stack up the savings and your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss Thirsty Thursday at your Kansas City, Missouri Hy-Vee. Product promotion differs by location. Offers valid where legal, available while supplies last.
I can't wait to watch the Chiefs go up and down the field and score a ton of points this year. And now I have even more reason to cheer on the Chiefs. I just head to Hy-Vee the day after any game and score savings at the pump with my Hy-Vee Perks card. Win or lose, I earn fuel saver discounts equal to the Chiefs score based on the amount I spend. If the Chiefs score 42 points, I save 42 cents a gallon when I spend $42. The more we score, the more I save, only at Hy-Vee. Offer good in-store and online. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on SingleCare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to SingleCare.com or download the free app today.
Welcome to TGL presented by SoFi. Golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line golf. Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour split into 6 teams. Learn more at TGLGolf.com and tune into the inaugural season beginning January 7th. Keep up, it's golf.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at tryethos.com. That's tryethos.com.
Welcome to TGL presented by SoFi. Golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line golf. Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour split into 6 teams. Learn more at TGLGolf.com and tune into the inaugural season beginning January 7th. Keep up, it's golf.
Brought to you by Bud Light, the official beer partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
What's up, Kansas City? It's Mitchell Schwartz. Join me at the Buffalo Wild Wings located off 105th and Metcalf in Overland Park on Friday, December 13th. I'll be there with the crew crew from 6 to 8 p.m. eating some wings and drinking $5 Bud Lights. For more details, go to 965thefan.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side, 35 southbound from Missouri 152 into downtown is a 12-minute trip. I-70 westbound from 470 into downtown 15 minutes. Kansas side 70 eastbound from 435 to 670 is 11 minutes. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Number one thing I wish I could do, play the guitar. You got a number one wish you could do thing on your list? Like ski or, I don't know. Mine is play the electric guitar, or just the guitar. Or the piano, which I know you have to learn the piano before you learn the guitar.
Yeah.
Sign me up for both.
I've always, there are two things that I have as regrets. I have a few, but again, too few to mention, is I wish I would have concentrated more on the piano when I was taking lessons as a kid, but then I got to high school and it was like, I'm not playing the piano. I'm too cool for that. And so we have a piano now at the house because my in-laws gave it to us. And so I've been kind of sitting down playing, trying to remember what I could remember and whatnot. And
next thing you know, you're going to be like Vanessa Carlton down there, like, making my way downtown.
I'm playing the Cheers theme song and Take Me Out to the Ball Game. I mean, so that's all I can really remember
down there too?
On the top of my head.
That'd be hilarious how you do your 3 o'clock runs in the morning.
Yeah.
And then before you do that, you let everybody know you're awake by bump.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I could do that. Wake the whole house up.
Oh, you'd wake the neighborhood.
Oh, they'd love it. Yeah, it'd be great.
Down there.
So no, that and I really wish, and this is a lesson that I talk to my children about almost every single day. Spanish. I wish I was more fluent in Spanish and took that more serious as well. We started our kids taking Spanish lessons when they were 2 or 3 years old, and they're like, "Why do we have to continue to take this?" I go, "Because now you're in high school and now you had all this time to learn it and to be fluent in a language."
Or just be bilingual in general, whether it's Spanish, German, French, whatever.
It doesn't matter. But like for me, I remember when I went to KU and met with there was a dean of the journalism school, Dana Liebengood, and I came out my junior year in high school, and he said, "Are you taking Spanish?" And I said, "No, I'm done with Spanish. I've taken my 3 years." He goes, "You're going to go back and you're going to enroll in your senior year of Spanish." He goes, "You want to be in sports. Baseball is trending towards a lot of Latin American players." And this was in the early 90s. And he goes, "You're going to want to learn Spanish." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to take any more Spanish, blah, blah, blah." And I did. I took it my senior year, and my senior year teacher said, "Don't ever tell anybody you took 4 years of Spanish in high school," because I was not good at it. Took one semester in high school, and that's been it. But that was some of the best advice I'd ever received that I never took really to heart, was to learn that second language. But when I was growing up, we didn't take a foreign language till 7th and 8th grade. By that time, it's almost impossible.
Ours was 6th.
Well, yeah, okay, but ours was 7th, and so it was 7th and 8th grade. And I remember I got 10 years on you. So now you can be immersed right away into learning a foreign language, and that's the way it should be when your brain is still developing. By the time you get to 7th and 8th grade, forget about it. It's over for you.
Mac, maybe you can attest to this too. I learned more Spanish in the restaurant industry than I learned in school.
I learned more from my friends who grew up in Spain.
My high school Spanish teacher was also a smoke show. So I wasn't really listening to.
Same. That's so funny.
Yeah,
dude. I became her teacher's aide. That's how much I was in love with her. I was like, "Hey, I'll aid for you. I need some hours to waste up." She was like, "All right, whatever, but don't screw around." But no, I learned more Spanish in the restaurant industry because of cooks and like dishwashers. And I knew, like you said to your kids, in order to kind of get on the same page and like have a respectful manner, I had to kind of learn their language too. And I'm not even kidding. Like I've learned way more than I've ever learned in school.
Absolutely.
Now there are variables to that, but
the school stuff I always kind of resented because it was like telling me how I'm going to, find the train or something like that. And I was always like, if you're going to teach people, if you're going to teach people a different language, like teach them stuff that truly matters, to have like conversational Spanish as opposed to, conjugating the verb ir, to go, voy, va, vas, vamos, vice, van. Like I still remember it all, but I would like to say, how do I have a normal conversation? And I'm thinking about, okay, I got to wait on the platform for the train. I mean, so I'm like, doesn't really apply. That was my whole big thing as a kid, but I wish I would have taken that more serious, that and piano more serious.
Things that you have to take seriously, getting to practice on time, and hilarious story from Steven Nelson about Andy
Just my time being my 4 years there. They drafted me. Andy, zero tolerance.
Yo, you would think like he cool, like he come off as like this cool.
He is cool.
Relax.
Yeah, no, he is cool. He joined 5 minutes late. Man, this man must have gave me the craziest cussing out ever.
You ain't get fined?
No, I ain't get fined, but guess what?
That's better then.
Because I played my ass off that next day.
Come on.
So that is Steven Nelson talking about 4 years ago, or his 4 years in Kansas City. He's back. He'll wear number 38. Asked why. He said that's all they had available. No L'Jarius Sneed drama there for the national media folks. Not going to be available this week. Andy said yesterday in his press conference that he's got to get back into shape. He's been out for a year. He's got to get ready for. He's got football moves. Other information Andy Reid gave us yesterday. Probably not gonna see DJ Humphries this week.
We said that yesterday.
Yeah, he said he's not gonna practice Wednesday. Obviously, the Wednesday practices really don't matter for those of you that watch the injury report. You can find those all the time. Matt McMillan has them all the time on his Twitter feed. He'll be here Friday for the roundtable. But normally it's obviously the Friday practice. Check those out. So I'm gonna assume we're without DJ Humphries.
Yeah.
That's just my guess. And then
no, there's no assumption. He's not playing this week.
Right. And then I think the other thing too is that you bring up the question, what are they going to do at left tackle? And I was thinking in my head last night, how do you disguise yourself from avoiding a defensive end? Do you want to do Patrick Mahomes stepping up into the pocket, making him guess where he's going to be? Maybe. I think they run the ball 35 times. And I don't have the text line up yet. I can already read it. Dusty, Andy doesn't read the ball. There's one thing that stops this team from a three-peat. There's one thing and one thing only. And that is if Patrick Mahomes is not the quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't need to see Myles Garrett licking up on Patrick Mahomes. I don't need to see that white jersey have a ton of grass stains on it. You have Isaiah Pacheco. You have Kareem Hunt. It's kind of a revenge game for
Kareem Hunt. Sure it is.
And they're both into the system now. This is now going to be the third week back for Pacheco. It's time. He's good. Yep. He showed that last week. Just run the ball, because then Myles Garrett isn't really that big of a factor.
Well, you got to try to find a way to out-coach, the Cleveland Browns this week. And by out-coach, I mean out-scheme Myles Garrett and not allow him to be a part of this thing.
Yeah.
Because regardless of who you put at left tackle, whether it's Wanya Morris, who I was reading something this morning on ESPN about, they thought Wanya played good at the end of the game. He had 4 plays. No, we're not judging Wanya Morris at the end of the game on 4 plays,
I could probably watch 4 plays consecutively and be like, Wanya Morris got smoked in 3 of those.
Yeah,
but I think it was the importance of the time of the game that they were probably focusing on.
And look, he made a couple of nice blocks and but I'm not changing my perception on Wanya Morris based on 4 plays at the end of a game against the Chargers when the week before he broke the quarterback in half. And so I can't look at Wanya Morris and say, okay, he's back, but he may be back this week. And I still think you move Joe Thuney outside. That's your best left tackle on the team right now. And then you figure out the inside with Frank Caliendo or whoever you're going to put in there, as your backup guard, and you kind of go that way. I don't think you're weakening 2 positions by doing that either. I know a lot of people will say, well, you're weakening left guard by moving. No, I don't necessarily know that you are weakening 2 positions. I think you're making your left tackle position a lot stronger by having the veteran Joe Thuney out there as opposed to Wanya Morris. But what do I know, right? They're going to make the decision that they feel is best for the organization. And if you do keep Joe Thuney at guard this week and don't move him outside, then run the ball down the throat of the Cleveland Browns, because Myles Garrett's going to be rushing from the outside. How do you counteract that? Go inside and run the football. And so I think they wanted to really run the football again last week. I think they go into these games with these game plans of what they want to do, and then obviously everything gets out of whack and things get dictated. But I thought they got out of whack last week by themselves by not running the football. They were very effective on the first 3 plays of the game. And then all of a sudden, Andy, I guess, got bored and started tossing it all around the yard. I think you really do need to commit to the run this week, especially with that question mark that you have now, not just for this game, but for the rest of the season, because DJ Humphries is still a question mark, too. The guy's played 1 game in the last year. So you've got to figure out a way to make sure that he's not an issue, or whoever's playing left tackle is an issue. And how you do that is counteract that kind of stuff. You run the football up the middle, short passes, quick slants, quick outs, all that kind of stuff. That's how you maximize your offensive line right now, and I think that's what you have to do as we move down the stretch.
Did you talk to North Carolina about a coach?
I did.
Okay,
yeah,
you just had a 200-page Bible, not 400.
But I've always said I'm never going to coach college. I'm just not.
Oh, man, I would.
I'm not. Because now I should say. Maybe now with the NIL,
you have a general manager doing all your work.
Yeah,
you don't have to house visit.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Like a year ago, 2 years ago, before the NIL came in, there's no chance I would ever coach college football because you're dealing with moms and dads and all that. The family stuff and the bag man and all this kind of crap. Like, I don't want to deal with all of that. The NFL I would do. But now, yeah, you're right. Hire Mike Lombardi to be your GM and let's go.
I also think this is a game where
I hire Binkley.
He'd be a hell of a recruiter. I think this is a game where, like, the main focus is, and I know this sounds nerdy of me, where it's like basically defensive coordinator versus defensive coordinator. We know who's on our side. I don't know if a lot of people are aware who's on the defensive side.
I have no idea.
Jim Schwartz.
Oh,
right?
He's their defensive coordinator. Right. May the Schwartz be with you.
Known to be very aggressive.
Yeah.
Known to kind of be in a mold of Spags, like lots of blitzes, lots of pressure.
Wasn't he the Lions coach at one point?
Failed miserably.
Yeah. Most people did with Detroit.
Yeah. That might be a little harsh for him, but he's got a very punchable face. But he's very well known as a schemer, blitzer, pressure guy, which is basically what Spags is, right? Heavy front line, then mix things up with the scheme of blitzing from corners, safeties, and linebackers. I think Spags, because we have a wild card in this game, which is Jameis Winston. Like, we talk about how fun he is until he plays your team,
That's right. Yeah.
That's how it goes. Like, he's a guy that I'm not necessarily worried about. He's just a guy that makes a team believable to think they can be on the competition with the other team. I think Spags can draw up enough disguises and enough pressure to Jameis Winston to where, like, he's going to make those mistakes. And I know the Chiefs don't necessarily get a ton of turnovers on their defense, but, like, he's an anomaly in that stat because he's going to be, a loose trigger. He's gonna throw it all over the field, or at least attempt to. He doesn't really read blitzes very well, doesn't really read the disguise very well. You can do that with him, and that Schwartz is going to try to, get to Mahomes. He's going to try to put pressure on Mahomes. You take that away with the running of the ball. And I know that this sounds, they don't run the ball, Dusty, trust me. You have to in this situation. I don't need Mahomes to go out there and throw for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns and look like the hero. The MVP race is over. I don't think anybody cares about that. But the 1 seed is what you need to get. And this is one of 2 steps. Well, I guess 3. One of 3 steps moving forward in the next 2 weeks to lock that up. And we always talk about checking off boxes. You beat Cleveland, Detroit beats Buffalo, then you beat Houston.
It's over.
Congratulations,
Yes.
you get to sit out the first week of the playoffs.
And you get to sit out the final 2 weeks of the regular season.
For sure.
I don't want that. I don't want that game in Denver to have to matter. I really don't want the Christmas Day game to have to matter because of all the money that Netflix is putting into this thing. I'd love it for it to be a Carson
first half
Wentz
might
game.
matter.
Yeah. Maybe. But if you
why does it have to? Who cares what you won on Christmas? If you've won the division in the 1 seed, sorry.
Yeah.
Here's Christmas for our starters.
Yeah, exactly. They get Christmas Day off, and so that's the ultimate goal. Finish this thing off by the time the Christmas holiday rolls around. You finish it off on the 21st, and all you have to do is beat Cleveland, and all you have to do is hope that Detroit beats Buffalo, which it's going to be an interesting game, man. Like, I'm so glad Buffalo lost last week to the Rams to put them in this position to have a loss to Detroit. And if Detroit gets stomped in this game by Buffalo, people will call Detroit a fraud. They will no longer be number 1. We know how it works, the week-to-week era of the NFL in that we're in. But I think for the Chiefs, you just got to go out there and take care of business yourself. You control everything. And with 4 games to go in the season in the middle of December, everything is right there for you. And especially, to wrap this thing up against Houston on that Saturday, the 21st. That way, the complaints have been in about 3 games in 11 days. I mean, you want to talk about a roadblock for Kansas City right now, and Pittsburgh and Houston and Baltimore. All of those teams are playing 3 games in 11 days. I know we don't care about the other 3, but they're all in that same boat as us right now. 3 games in 11 days is a lot. And hearing Mahomes talk about that yesterday kind of, perked me up a little bit and went, oh, okay, so he's not happy about this. And so what happens when Mahomes isn't happy? He takes matters into his own hands, and that's why I think these next 2 games are going to be games that they win, and they try to wrap this number 1 seed up before they have to play that 3rd game in 11 days, and they can kind of just relax a little bit against Pittsburgh, because it is a daunting task with the playoffs looming, and you haven't had a bye since the middle of October.
Right. The new season is or I guess the opponents are out. You're two opponents away from knowing the full schedule, or I guess the full. We don't know the schedule yet because they won't release that until like a month until the season starts. But obviously, you have your division games. You already knew who you were playing, but your home games next year releases came out. 2025 schedule. You get Texans, Colts, Eagles, Commanders, and then AFC North number 1, NFC North number 1. So as of right now, that'd be Pittsburgh and Detroit coming to Kansas City. On the away schedule, guess what? You get to go to Buffalo again. You go to Dallas. You go to the Giants, which would be a fun game for you to go to, wear your Chiefs and stand next to your dad wearing his Lawrence Taylor jersey. You go to the Jags, the Titans, the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Raiders. So we know there's at least
that road schedule is nice, baby.
We know out of the road schedule, I can tell you at least 4 things that I already know for a fact. You have 2 noon games in there. Tennessee, Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Those will be noon games. You'll play Jacksonville like week 2 or 3, play them at noon. You'll play Tennessee in like November, early November, noon game.
Noon game. Yeah.
Chiefs and Cowboys are playing on Thanksgiving next year. And
that game will be on Thanksgiving.
Here's what I can tell you right now. I know a lot of people say, oh, you don't need to have Cowboys and Chiefs on Thanksgiving to sell that game. Dusty, look at what the ratings did this year on Thanksgiving. It was just the Cowboys. Man, you can really, really make that a big, big sell on Thanksgiving. 3 o'clock, Chiefs, Cowboys. It's a holiday. Back-to-back years the Chiefs played on Christmas. This year they played on Black Friday. Holiday games are going to get more and more attractive with big-time matchups. I can almost guarantee you the Chiefs and Cowboys will play on Thanksgiving next year.
I think that sounds about right.
It's in Dallas. It's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and you don't get many opportunities to put the Chiefs on Thanksgiving Day.
Once every 8 years.
They've played, on every other holiday, so why not? But
the Bills game's going to be either whoever wins the AFC.
Yeah, that and the Bills game will be, probably a Sunday night game or, whatever the case may be, because they gave them that 3 o'clock game this year, so they may give a Sunday night game to them next year. And then you look at, the home schedule. It's obviously the division rivals. You get the Texans mixed in a little bit. The Colts, Eagles, Commanders don't do a whole lot for me. Obviously, the Eagles are pretty good.
You can heckle Sirianni again.
If
Commanders will be another year better.
Yeah, they may be. I don't know. It doesn't move. Like the Commanders, honestly, they could disappear from Earth, and I wouldn't think twice about it. They're one of those nondescript teams. For me, their name sucks, and their colors are awful. Their uniforms may be the worst in professional sports. Like there's nothing about that organization right now other than Jaden Daniels that I look at and go, okay, that's pretty cool. Like the whole thing is just a mess. They need a total rebrand.
Brian Robinson's pretty cool to watch.
They need a whole rebrand
got shot
in there.
And came out.
Yeah, and then you got the AFC North, as you mentioned, and probably Detroit in that game. And
NFC North.
NFC North, yeah. And the AFC North will probably be Pittsburgh. But you look at who's going to be that Thursday night opener. I mean, a Super Bowl rematch, right, between Detroit and Kansas City on Thursday Night Football to open the season. Don't you think we're going to probably see something like that?
I could see
not?
I could see it being like a Broncos because it's always an up-and-coming team. I mean, I know this year.
Who was it this year?
Baltimore.
Baltimore, yeah.
But that was the AFC West, or that was the AFC Championship game rematch.
Right.
So,
and
it's
you have an opportunity for a Super Bowl rematch? That's kind of cool.
Could have that. I mean, I could see it being the Broncos just because that way that game went this year. We don't know what that game is going to be this year in the last week of the season. Hopefully nothing to show. But I could also see the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles could be one as well.
Sirianni back in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Is there a game that you'd want to go to that's in the home schedule? Like you ticket to go see it?
Underrated just because I love beating the Colts. I want to go watch us kick their ass.
Okay.
Yeah, because I hate the Colts.
Yeah, they just have your number in the history of the franchise.
Yeah, exactly, just the history. Yeah.
I think for me it would probably be Detroit and Pittsburgh. Those are marquee teams.
It's gonna be awesome. Yeah.
Loaded home schedule.
I mean,
which game's going to be played in Berlin?
I don't think the Chiefs are playing in Berlin.
Okay. Minnesota still has a chance of that division. I know Chiefs fans shouldn't care about that, but I mean, that'd be cool. If Minnesota had to play them.
It would be great.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it'd be great. A lot of Minnesota fans would obviously come down for that one.
So Sam Darnold will be the quarterback.
No chance.
You don't think they franchise tag him?
No, absolutely not. You do not pay Sam Darnold any sort of money because Kevin O'Connell has shown, and this is sorry, Kevin, man, you have proven you could turn around Kirk Cousins. You've turned around Sam Darnold. We've got a rookie quarterback or a quarterback on a rookie contract right now. Go 3 for 3.
And and he picked him.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, you picked this guy, so go do it. I still think the Chiefs play Sam Darnold, though. It's just not in a Vikings jersey.
Who do you think he's in?
Giants.
Giants jersey.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, oof.
I think so.
I mean, Cam Ward could be the starting quarterback there.
Or you do the smart thing like we've been saying the entire year. Go get Sam Darnold. Let Cam Ward be the backup
Yes,
for a couple
absolutely.
years.
Yes.
Year 3 in New York, now you're ready.
But you also have to be, if you're the Giants, willing to commit to that coaching staff. Because if you draft Cam Ward and bring in Sam Darnold and have him for a year under Sam Darnold and you're teaching him all that stuff and they don't win again, you can't fire the coach because now you're putting Cam Ward, if he is if that's who the Giants draft, or whatever quarterback they draft, then you're really putting him at a disadvantage. So the Giants have a huge decision that they have to make. Either you're firing Daboll and their GM now, or you're sticking with them for the next 3 or 4 years because you're obviously drafting a quarterback.
I think he's gone. Coming up on the other side, there was an announcement of a spinoff. We talk about our best spinoffs, plus something that could happen in a hometown for this athlete. On the other side here, 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Hey guys, it's Dusty Likens once again from 96.5 The Fan to let you know that it's okay to have certain questions about your sex life or weight loss, and that's all right to have. And I'm here to help you out with those questions, but even more so, my friends at Heartland Men's Health are here to help you out. Heartland Men's Health treatments work when the pills or the herbals fail. They have treatments with success rates well over 90%. Some treatments can even have you last an hour or more. Heartland Men's Health is successfully treating men in the Kansas City area. So you can schedule an appointment with Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit is only $99, and it includes a medical consult with a licensed medical provider, a T and PSA test, and, if medically advised, a test dose. And if the test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. They have an expert staff, and if you are like a lot of men, that's right, you could be having sex the day after your appointment. So remember, they have 3 locations that can serve you. Overland Park, Kansas, Independence, Missouri, between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and their new office in North Kansas City. So call them today at 844-447-6600 or visit them at heartlandmenshealth.com.
'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring except the 2024 Subaru Share the Love event. Subaru will donate $250 to a charity of your choice to help those in need this holiday. These charities include the ASPCA, Make-A-Wish Foundation, Meals on Wheels, and the National Park Foundation. And locally, you can choose the Hillcrest Transitional Housing. Have some fun this holiday and fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Escape to your new coastal seafood paradise. Introducing Aqua Pennies, where the freshest seafood, a full-service raw bar, prime steaks and chops, exquisite handcrafted cocktails, and a one-of-a-kind atmosphere come together in perfect harmony. Aqua Pennies is now open in Park Place, Leawood. Don't miss out. Experience something truly different. Tantalize your taste buds and elevate your evening out. To learn more, go to aquapennies.com.
Coast into Aqua Pennies, now open for lunch.
Booth Creek Wagyu, KC's premier Wagyu beef meat market, has even more convenient ways for you to shop. In addition to their location at 135th and Metcalf, they're opening soon at 95th and Knoll. Everyone deserves to elevate their beef. Whether you're looking to wow your family with an unforgettable roast this holiday or impress your friends, neighbors, and coworkers, their Wagyu experts are ready to help you pick out something unforgettable. Booth Creek Wagyu, open 7 days a week, or shop online anytime at boothcreekwagyu.com.
Hey, where's Tyrone?
Who?
Tyrone, that guy who used to come in here and inspect our fire systems?
I don't know.
I'm over here at Keller Fire and Safety now.
Why?
This is what I like about Keller. The customer focus, the compliance focus, and the work that we do keeps your people and your property safe.
If you're missing Tyrone's great service, call Keller. Keeping the fire marshal happy since 1950. Keller Fire and Safety. KellerFire.com.
Tackle the NFL action on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app, because right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the National Football League all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of watching the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you can place your bets. All you need to do is use my promo code KFNZ to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's FanDuel. KFNZ is my promo code. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino LLC. Gambling problem. Get help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Oh, Downy in the rinse straight. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
What if you could hear your favorite song for the first time again? Introducing the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks. With an available Bose Personal Plus sound system that uses speakers in the headrest to create a 360-degree listening experience. You've never heard anything like this. Reimagine your music and your drive. Experience the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks for yourself at nissanusa.com today.
Available feature. Bose is a registered trademark of the Bose Corporation. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. Missouri side in Blue Springs, 70 westbound, slows just a bit around Adams Dairy Parkway. Past that, things pick up and move pretty well into downtown. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
I know the theme to this show. Welcome back into 96.5 The Fan. Fescoe, Dusty, Mac with you. How'd After Hours go last night, Mac and Steen? Pretty good show.
Fantastic.
There you go. Lots
Very
of hot
fun.
sports takes about stats and geeks.
You know it, bro.
You in the vest.
Did you guys talk about Jazz Chisholm and his spray chart?
Whoa,
be careful there.
Did I say it wrong?
You
I
had
don't
it.
know. There's one guy that got it really wrong.
Jazz Chisholm.
Jazz Chisholm.
I want to know what your favorite spinoff show is. 913-586-7965 as we wrap up the 6 o'clock hour. If you're new to the show, welcome. If you're not, you understand. Towards the 45s, we have a little bit of fun.
Is Curb considered a spinoff?
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't think so. But I do want to wrap this real quick before we get into spinoff. So, quick conversation. We've been waiting for Kelsey to set the all-time record.
Yeah.
You know it's coming this weekend.
Well, it's in Cleveland, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I was just saying, I was like, why do we never piece these things out?
Yeah, why did it take 3 weeks to figure
I was
that
sitting there
one
last
out,
night
right?
and I'm like, waiting to see what the New Heights podcast is going to come up with or what the teasers are going to be. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, yeah. Chiefs are in Cleveland. Pretty big milestone record for Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Duh. Dude, your
right.
hometown.
But you know what? For me, I didn't even consider Cleveland because I'm like, oh, Travis lives here now. Like,
Fair.
I've he's adopted Kansas City and whatnot. So the Cleveland thing didn't even cross my mind really. That that's right, Travis is going back to Cleveland. But
right.
You can take the boy out of Cleveland, you can't take the Cleveland out of the boy, as they like to say. So, or maybe they don't. So we'll see if he puts on a show in front of his hometown.
I wonder if there's like a dance that represents like New Heights or something like that. Okay. So yesterday we were in our post-production meeting and I saw on my phone, I can't believe this is already happening. It seems like yesterday, I don't even think the series is over yet. I don't know if they've even had the season finale yet or the series finale. But Yellowstone writers said that they are going to do a spinoff with the Rip and Beth. Their relationship will continue on a spinoff. And of course, that makes my head spin and think of two things. What is a spinoff that you would like to see? And what do you consider the best spinoff? Now, I will say, to give you guys some footprints to kind of follow on and maybe get your brain working a little bit more this early, I would say Better Call Saul is the best spinoff I've ever seen.
No question.
Mm-hmm. And we did the TV shows yesterday where it was ranked. It was already way up there, and it's not even been out. It's still fresh. I don't want to ruin anything for it because I don't think a lot of people have finished it or started it. Better Call Saul is the best spinoff, in my opinion. King of Queens is a good one. I don't necessarily like it, but the longevity, the creativity of it came from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
he was in Everybody Loves Raymond for like a hot minute.
Just a
though.
FedEx driver,
yeah,
man. And then
like
all of a sudden,
very rare on that
Right.
show. I think maybe twice. That he was on that show.
I figured Maud's probably a big spinoff. Because I mean that had a lot of traction. I never watched it, but I was thinking to myself and then House of the Dragon, the Game of Thrones spinoff. I know that they kind of led us on this long escapade for nothing at the end of last season, but it's been good. It's got one more season left. Everybody that is a diehard Game of Thrones fan, I think, is connected to it. But those are just what I consider. Maybe you've got some spinoffs.
I think the most successful spinoff of all time is Frasier. I mean, they really hit a home run with that. A lot of times you see spinoffs and they're just not that good, right? Frasier was really good. I mean, I don't think it's better than Cheers, but it's up there in that category of great spinoffs because, again, there weren't a lot. You see some of these spinoffs and you're like, oh, God, that really was pretty bad. Maude is a good example of a really good one as well, spinoff of All in the Family back in the day. And the Jeffersons are a spinoff of All in the Family as well. And so that ended up being a great one. You know, you go back and look at some of those Norman Lear shows from back in the, the 70s and 80s, and they're all sort of interconnected one way or the other. So I think those are some of them right now. I asked you if Curb is considered a spinoff, and you said no, and I kind of agree with that. It's just the same, writer and whatnot. I don't think it's a spinoff of
if
Seinfeld.
it was George as Larry and not Larry basically being Larry, which we all know now that George is Larry,
right?
Then yes, but it's it's a completely different person from a different side of the script.
So no, it's probably not a spinoff. But I don't know that Seinfeld ever could have done a spinoff. I mean, we were kind of talking about those characters yesterday, and really the only one who had any sort of TV success afterwards was Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I mean, she was great on Veep. She was great in the Old Adventures of New Christine or the New Adventures of Old Christine, whatever the hell it was called. She was really good in that show as well. So I think from a Seinfeld standpoint, it's hard. Like Kramer, is he going to carry a show? Is George really going to carry a show? They were really good together. But separately, I don't think.
Do you have a spinoff that you want to see?
Not
created?
really. No,
Nothing really strikes your head.
No, I mean, other than the Super Bowl championship for the third year in a row. I mean, that would be my
That's
my
called
kind of spinoff, right?
Or a trilogy.
Trilogy, yeah. The trilogy. But no, I mean, I think we're out of that era for me. Of the must-see TV nights type stuff where you're hoping for spinoffs and sitcoms begat sitcoms, which begat more sitcoms.
Like you don't want any more Breaking Bad spinoffs. Like you wouldn't want to know what Skyler and Flynn are doing right now.
Not really.
Okay.
Would you?
Yeah.
Really?
I'd watch it. Yeah.
I'd watch.
I mean, if
Because
Vince Gilligan was going to come out with a new Breaking Bad, yes, I would watch it.
Because the last time we saw Skyler White, she's puffing a dart in the kitchen, and she found out that Walter White did it for himself. Like that to me is the best part of that entire show. He goes, if you really think that I did this for the family, she's like, if you tell me one more time, you did it for the family. I didn't. I did it for me.
For me.
So I was good at it, and I liked it.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, Walter.
Yeah.
And she just sat there, and she's, So I'm interested to know, like, I would watch it because I'm addicted.
I'd watch it, but I'm not craving it, But I mean, Vince Gilligan has been a master at writing scripts and whatnot, and so if he were going to come out with something like that, Breaking Bad-esque, related to Breaking Bad, I'd pay attention to it. Yeah.
Just doing some research and see it on the text line as well. Apparently, The Simpsons is a spinoff.
Yeah, Tracy Ullman. Yeah.
So that's got to be up there. I didn't know Family Matters was a spinoff, but I used to love that show.
Yeah, it is of Perfect Strangers.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Love
That's
that
the
show.
crazy thing. It's like goes back to some people won't know that Andy Reid coached the Eagles.
That's right. Yeah.
Some people are like, King of Queens was a spinoff?
Yeah, didn't know that when you said that either.
Yeah.
Yep, had no clue.
But very much like Family Matters, the spinoff was I can't think of her name, the mom on Family Matters. She was the elevator operator for like 3 episodes or something like that on Perfect Strangers, you know?
And they just carried that into that's weird.
Somebody says, so if Mahomes three-peats, would he be Lord of the Rings?
Yes, he would be, yes.
Pinky and the Brain, spinoff of Animaniacs. Great show. What are we going to do tonight, Brain? The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try and take over the world. If there's one I could have, it was almost there. It was almost there. We had everybody together. They were going to do a spinoff of Game of Thrones and do Jon Snow. All on Kit Harington. Fell apart.
Why did it fall apart?
I think it was just because somebody didn't like the script. I think Kit Harington, the main actor for the actor for Jon Snow, I don't think he liked the script and like where they were going with it, and so he basically was just like, "Yeah, I'm out." And so then once the main guy's out, the writers are like, "Well, now we don't have our quarterback." You know, it's
Is Belichick the North Carolina spinoff?
That is a spinoff, or is that a prequel?
Oh, that's interesting.
Which that brought up a question. He's going back to school.
Yeah.
What's the better back to school movie? Back to School or Billy Madison?
Both are really, really good.
Who's funnier, Dangerfield or Sandler?
Dangerfield.
Okay.
Yeah, Dangerfield. And I like Adam Sandler. I'm not an anti-Adam Sandler. Like, there's a lot of people that are like anti-Adam Sandler. Oh, he does the same movie. All this. So what? He's cashing a check every single time. We watch it and we laugh. But, I mean, if you have the opportunity to go back and watch, like, Rodney Dangerfield with Johnny Carson and some of the stuff that they were doing back in the day, like, that guy, Rodney Dangerfield, was hysterical. I mean, just absolutely hysterical. And Back to School with Thornton Mellon fits a lot better with Bill Belichick, because you could see Belichick sitting in a hot tub at a sorority party.
Right.
I mean, he is dating a 24-year-old. That's not me really stretching things here, you know. So if there's a sorority party at Kappa Delta one night or whatever the case may be, Belichick's going to roll down to that hot tub and be Thornton Mellon.
Relax.
Well, the fathers are like, all right, be careful. Belichick's coming to campus.
Here comes Bill, wearing his hoodie and nothing else. You have a theory that we'll get to on the other side about the NFL and its seeding. Bob Fescoe, Mac Morey, Dusty Likens. Damn glad to have you on a Thursday on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, it is a weekend with a game. That means you can have the game day special at Smokehouse Barbecue. You're getting ready to watch football on Sunday. You're going to want a pound of burnt ends. You're going to want a pound of wings, whether you want the Cajun butter or the new sweet zing. You can get them in the game day special as well. A slab of ribs, a quart of beans, and all the setups you need for six for $79.95. That's your game day special at Smokehouse Barbecue. And now we're getting closer and closer to Christmas and to New Year's. You're going to want to cater. You don't want to cook this holiday season, so let Smokehouse Barbecue lay out the spread for you. Doesn't matter if you want burnt ends, if you want ribs, if you want pulled pork, if you want brisket, if you want their hickory pit beans that cook under that brisket for the final few hours to give them the greatest flavor in the world. Smokehouse Barbecue will cater all of your holiday parties as well. And when you're dining in at Smokehouse Barbecue, you got to try their new pulled chicken sandwich. It's on a brioche bun with coleslaw on top, the perfect amount of pulled chicken. It is delicious, absolutely wonderful, and you're going to love it. And like I said, get a side of those hickory pit beans as well. And start every meal at Smokehouse Barbecue with their Cajun butter chicken wings. You can visit them in 3 locations, Independence, Gladstone, and Zona Rosa, or at smokehousebbq.com. That's smokehousebbq.com. For over 35 years, locally owned and family operated, it's Smokehouse Barbecue.
This weekly football preview is brought to you by MD Anderson Cancer Center.
We're nearing the end of the season, and Week 15 kicks off with L.A. versus San Francisco on Thursday night. Weekend matchups will see Kansas City take on Cleveland, Baltimore heads to New York, and Buffalo will take on Detroit. Things wrap up with 2 Monday night games as Chicago battles Minnesota and Atlanta takes on Las Vegas.
At MD Anderson Cancer Center, we're doing whatever it takes to end lung cancer. Visit MDAndersonLungCancer.com to learn more.
MD Anderson Cancer Center is again ranked #1 in the nation for cancer care by U.S. News & World Report's Best Hospitals rankings. Our physicians treat more types of cancers in a day than many see in their whole career. This unmatched depth of expertise, combined with our groundbreaking discoveries, gives our patients access to the most innovative treatment options. Learn more at mdanderson.org.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare and you want out, you need to get the facts. Wesley Financial Group and its founder, Chuck McDowell, have helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshares permanently, and he may be able to help you too. Call right now. Chuck will send you a timeshare exit information guide free explaining how your timeshare works and all your options for cancellation. You want to call Wesley Financial Group, 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. Once again, 800-761-0000.
Old Spice Swagger Holiday Pack, perfect for a gift to treat yourself. 24/7 holiday freshness with daily use can smell your bestest. I'm gonna be smelling great all season. Old Spice scents just can't be beaten. Chock full of value, saving that green. Got the essentials needed to feel clean. Deodorant, hair, body wash, and spray. Celebrate your holiday the Old Spice way. Ho 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 ho.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Wayside Waves has rescued pets from puppy mills, hoarding situations, and found them abandoned on the streets. Give these homeless animals a second chance. Make miracles happen. Donate today, and your gift will be matched. Visit waysidewaves.org. This report is brought to you by waysidewaves.org. Save a life this holiday season.
This Chiefs coverage is brought to you by Peter's Clothiers. Men, you need to look great for holiday events. Let Peter's Clothiers give you the perfect fit you're looking for. From jackets to suits to trousers and more, in sizes to fit every man. PetersClothiers.com or stop in today at 124th and State Line.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side, 670 eastbound, very heavy heading into downtown. You hit delays around Wyoming Street. It just crawls over past 35. There's an accident past Main Street blocking 2 left lanes. 35 northbound also affected into downtown from Penway. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Listen to the Chiefs and Browns game on Sunday with pregame starting at 9, kickoff at noon with Mitch, Danon, and Kling right here on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Diving right back into it on a Thursday morning. I love Thursdays. Big game tonight. Rams at Niners. I love Rams Rams +3. That is the line tonight as they go play those beaten up 49ers. They're down to their 4th string running back who's a rookie playing on a bad foot. Debo Samuel says he's just not getting opportunities when they showed it. It's a mess in San Francisco, kind of like the way it's a mess in Philadelphia. A little less on the drama side in San Fran, but
no, they're just a mess because of the injuries.
Yeah, for sure.
Philly's a mess because of who the hell knows.
Yeah.
But they handled that well yesterday. Give credit to Nick Sirianni and A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts.
They had 48 hours to patch it up. That's a 2-week span in the NFL.
But they did it. They did it. They handled
call.
business. They did everything right yesterday. They answered all the questions. They put it behind them, and boom, you're done. So maybe Nick Sirianni did show a little bit of leadership yesterday and the day before and getting that thing all kind of squared away before they met the media on Wednesday.
Speaking of leadership, the Chiefs lead the AFC with the 1 seed. Not the easiest way to get it by both of us.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think still to this day, the NFL just wants the Chiefs to win. Then explain this to me.
Yeah, explain 3 games in 11 days if they really want the Chiefs to win. Because if you want a team to win, you don't schedule 3 games in 11 days, and you don't have 2 of those games on the road either if you want the Chiefs to win. And Patrick Mahomes, who is a guy that, he defends the shield, he's a great ambassador for the NFL. When he has comments that kind of go sideways a little bit from what the league is doing, and same with Andy Reid, actually.
I got it right here if you want it.
Yeah, play what he had to say yesterday, because once I heard Patrick Mahomes do this, I'm like, oh, boy.
It's his tone.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's not like a good feeling. I mean, I'm excited to play on Christmas to hopefully get back from what we did last year, but you never want to play this many amount of games in this short of time. It's just not great for your body, but at the end of the day, it's your job, your profession. You have to come to work and do it.
Yeah, and he's there saying basically that what everybody's thinking, like this really sucks. Like this is a bad deal for us and the 3 other teams that are playing. 4 games or 3 games in 11 days with Houston and Pittsburgh, and all playoff teams other than Cleveland are getting ready to play 3 games in 11 days as we move down the home stretch of the season. And I think that, to me, right there, that's the biggest obstacle that I see right now for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's not Pittsburgh. It's not Buffalo. It's not Houston. It's not Cleveland. It's not any of the teams that they're jockeying around for. But 3 games in 11 days, it's just another, to me, adverse situation that Mahomes and Andy Reid and the Chiefs need to overcome. And if there's an organization that's great at overcoming adverse situations, it's obviously us. I mean, just look what happens inside a game. All right, you need a long drive in overtime, boom, done. You need a drive to kick a field goal at the end to win, boom, done. You need to block a field goal, boom, done. Like, this team handles adversity great. But everybody has their breaking point, right? No matter how positive and great you feel like everything is, everybody has their breaking point. And I'm looking at the Chiefs right now. Chris Jones a couple of weeks ago, Patrick Mahomes yesterday kind of talking about it. Andy Reid addressing as well, look, this is a regular week this week, so we're taking advantage of that and whatnot. But it's something that they're thinking about. And I don't like the fact that they and Pittsburgh and Houston and Baltimore all have to think about playing 3 games in 11 days when all of those teams are postseason teams, and you want your teams that are going to be in the postseason playing their best football. Like, I understand the money, and that's what it's all about in the NFL right now, but I'm taking the player side, the football side of things. This sucks from a football side.
Yeah, and if you think that the NFL wants the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl and the three-peat, then I have a hard time believing it with the way that this all stacks up. Because like you had mentioned, 3 games in 11 days. By the way, am I the only one that for like the entire year we were saying 3 games in 10 days, and then just like yesterday it changed to 11 days? Like, am I the only one? Because like I was watching the news last night, I'm like, people have said 11 days now. Like, I feel like last week. And then somebody must have came along and be like, it's 11.
Yeah.
We've been saying 10 for months.
Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't just like, out on the other atmosphere.
The same thought. I'm like, what happened?
I'm like, so we gained today?
So is it 11?
We've been saying 10 for like the whole year.
But now all I've seen is 11 for the past 48 hours.
Yeah, because
okay?
I heard Vahe ask the question. I think that's who it was, asking Mahomes a question yesterday. And I'm like, so now it's 11?
So that's Sunday, 10? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's 7. Sunday's 8. Monday's 9, Tuesday's 10, Wednesday's 11.
All right.
Yeah. Math is tough for everybody.
Yeah.
You just look at December 15th to December 25th. You're like, oh, 10 days. You're
no,
like,
but it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not.
Yeah, see, everybody was saying 10 days. I just want to make sure I was right about that. Yeah. All right. But no, this is not, because look at this. In my opinion, if the NFL is going to do this and give you 3 games in 11 days, I think the Chiefs should have been able to have their bye later in the season.
Absolutely.
Which leads me to believe in the theory that the NFL does not look at the bye week schedule, just like neither Mac or I are that advanced, love fantasy football. But there's no way in hell when I'm doing my fantasy draft am I looking at people's bye weeks before I draft them. Like, there's just going to have to be a week, 1 week where, like, I have 6 guys on a bye.
Absolutely.
That's just the way it fell. The NFL's not looking at the schedule, let alone.
But they do have like 10,000 different renditions of the schedule that they pick out.
Yeah, keep telling yourself that. Because that doesn't make sense. A bye in week 6 with 3 games in 11 days in weeks 15, 16, 17, yet they're a competitive team. And all the other competitive teams in the AFC had their bye weeks after week 9 or later.
Yeah.
Right? Baltimore, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Houston, week 9 or later is when they had their bye. Chiefs get theirs in week 6.
They very well could have done it where everybody who's playing these 3 games in 11 days had their bye last week. Because there were byes last week, right?
Yes.
That should have been the bye week for all of these teams that are getting ready to play this stretch of 3 games in 11 days.
And
it's Baltimore, Houston, Kansas City, and Pittsburgh.
Right. And if they truly care about player safety.
Well, they don't. You keep telling yourself that one.
I'm not. I'm doing an out loud thing. If they truly do care about that and they care about the well-being of their athletes, they would look at the future of the schedule and be like, okay, here's the deal. We're doing something new this year. We're doing Christmas Day, Netflix, doing all this stuff. We got a Saturday game. We got some teams playing there. There's 4 teams that have games in 3 games in 11 days.
Mm-hmm.
Those 4 teams get byes week 14.
That's right.
Not Baltimore, blah, 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 whatever. But yet the Chiefs get their bye week in week 6. I don't know how to, I'm sure this would happen you could do this with research. When's the last time the Chiefs had a bye week in week 6? In the last 5 years, when they've been the number 1 dog in the league.
Late in the year,
it's
like
been
at least
10,
at the halfway point.
It's been weeks 10, 9, 11. I think it was 11 last week, and they came back and played Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
It's been like week 12. It's been week 13. And then randomly on the route to their three-peat, it's week 6.
Right.
They played 3 games in 11 days on route to their three-peat. This is not the NFL trying to powder puff this. So your theory that people out there, they're like, oh, the NFL wants them. No, the NFL is doing everything they can to stop it by doing this with their schedule because that is brutal. And I understand Mahomes' response. I thought it was great how he gave out his honest opinion, but then went full PR.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
He's like, and that's another reason why I lead to this team. Just run the ball on Sunday. I don't need Myles Garrett to cause havoc. You're down a man at left tackle. If Mahomes is going to play 3 games in 11 days after this game, or I guess this would be the start of that stretch, like I need him as protected as possible. And if that means run the ball 40 times, run the damn ball 40 times because you got to get out of this game without getting an injury with your left tackle out.
Well, and also, too, the 3 games in 11 days with the money that Netflix is spending on this thing would be so good to have that game be meaningless for Kansas City on Christmas Day. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for. It's a little schadenfreude, a happiness at the misfortune of others, right? I think right now having the Chiefs win out, or not win out, but win these next 2 games and have Buffalo lose a game would be the best thing to happen. Now, I don't know that Buffalo is going to lose because they need that Netflix game to do well. And if that game is a meaningless game on Christmas Day, put yourself in the shoes of anybody. Meaningless game on Christmas Day, how much attention are you really going to pay to that football game if nothing is on the line for the Kansas City Chiefs? You'll probably head to grandma's earlier, passively, aggressively watch that game. It may be on, but you're not really there. You may turn it off because it doesn't matter. The NFL needs Netflix to have success on Christmas Day. That's why I believe the Lions are now going to lose this game because as we've talked about it, where I thought the Lions would win, Buffalo already lost. Changes the whole dynamic of everything. Had Buffalo won that game, I could see them losing to the Lions. But now they need Christmas Day to matter and everybody to be paying attention on Christmas Day. The Lions will probably lose that game to Buffalo. Therefore, ergo, Christmas Day will matter, and then Netflix will get the number that they want in order to pay more for Christmas Day games in the future.
Mac and I both hate Christmas Day game.
Hate it.
Hate it?
It sucks.
It doesn't bother me.
Really?
It really doesn't bother me at all.
It really bothers me, man.
I hate the fact that it's a Wednesday, and it's like if it was on
You'll be in Hawaii. Who cares?
But
you won't know what day of the week it is.
No, but I mean, from a football standpoint, I hate the fact that it's it doesn't bother me at all.
Right.
Why do you hate it being on Christmas Day?
Distraction.
From what?
Everything.
The NBA?
No, just family, man.
Like,
hanging.
I'm gonna be open and honest. I'm gonna want to watch the game and follow it.
Of course.
But also, like I was telling Mac in the break, like now I've got to. It seems like so does everybody else. Like everyone's lying to you if they're like, oh, I don't want to watch. I don't spend time. I mean, I know there's like diehard family people out there.
Yeah.
But there's still like your dad, your mom, your uncle, your cousins, whoever. Like, oh, Chiefs are on. Like Chiefs jersey, fantasy. I love this team. And then it's like, hurry up and get through the presents so we can get to the Chiefs game.
Yeah.
Hurry up and get there. And it's like, you know, what do you do meal wise? You know, I don't know. Like it just, I don't know.
See, for me, Christmas Day is not a big deal at our place. So for me, it's great. I love it. Yeah, I think it's great. Christmas Eve, I'd rather play on Christmas Day than Christmas Eve. I'll be honest with you, because Christmas Eve I like a lot more than Christmas Day.
It's funny you say that because you know how they have those like things where it's like, which would you rather, like gingerbread man, gingerbread house, Christmas Eve, Christmas, Home Alone, you know, like that.
Yeah.
Your Christmas Eve over Christmas.
Oh God, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Much more fun for me.
Okay.
Parties, celebrating with friends, and then Christmas Day. I always felt it was like a letdown after Christmas Eve. We always did a big Christmas Eve at my house when I was growing up. And loved Christmas Eve. It was the best day of the year. And and then Christmas Day came along, and you're like, oh man, Christmas Eve was such fun. By the time you're a kid, you open your toys, it's 8 a.m. and you know, all right, fine, let's watch football.
Fair. Yeah, I love Christmas Eve, man. I get
love
geeked
both,
out, man. I love singing like Silent Night in the church when you light the candle and you tip it to everybody else and you look up above and everything's lit up and you're out here not knowing the words of the second verse. You know what I mean? Everybody knows Silent Night, and then all of a sudden the second verse hits and like Dave next to you is like,
I actually had a rendition of Silent Night. I was singing about the Chiefs last night at home.
Oh, man,
and then I went into Andy Reid is a star.
Okay, all right.
Found Mahomes in Texas high schools. Loves Brett Veach and running backs too.
Please make it stop. It's over. Ben Maller's going to save us on the other side. We come back on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, folks, half of men over the age of 50 are suffering from erectile dysfunction. And if you fall into that category, you're probably thinking to yourself, is there anything that I can do? Well, there is. In fact, even more men are affected as we get into our 60s and beyond. But ED can also impact younger men as well. That's why you have to call my friends over at Heartland Men's Health, because they have treatments when the pills or herbals fail. They have treatments with success rates well over 90%. And some treatments can even have you last an hour or more. Heartland Men's Health is successfully treating men right here in Kansas City. So schedule a consult with Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes a medical consult with a licensed medical provider, a T and PSA test, and, if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. They have an expert staff, and if you're like a lot of men, you could be having sex the day after your appointment. They have 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Independence between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and their new office in North Kansas City. Call them today, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
Welcome to Staples.
Help! My family's in for the holidays and I need gift ideas.
That's why we're here. Staples has amazing deals on everything you need: photo gifts, laptops, and gaming systems. Even custom holiday cards and shipping solutions to send gifts to the family that can't make it.
Perfect! Have anything for Uncle Frank? I love him, but the guy is never quiet.
Noise-canceling headphones. For you.
You get it.
Unwrap huge holiday savings at Staples. And right now at Staples, save up to $350 on select computers. Ends 12/28, in-store only.
This holiday season, Straight Talk Wireless is letting you say yes a lot more with real unlimited data. Yes to sharing pics of the ugliest holiday sweaters. Yes to checking weather on the go for surprise sledding trips. And with a free phone at sign up, let the yes-tivities begin.
No way!
Yes way. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart or straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 1/5/25 while supplies last at participating stores. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store activation on select single-line plans. Limit of 2 phones per customer. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
It's football time at BetMGM. Use code KOSTOS, KOSTOS, and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, original bets, and the best daily promotions in the business. Use code KOSTOS, KOSTOS, and get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older. New customer offer. This U.S. promotional offer not available in Mississippi, New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, call 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, call 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, call 1-800-981-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Hey guys, it's Jim Costa from Cash the Ticket. If you're planning on betting college football bowl games, good luck. No, seriously, it's never been harder. And you don't want to be hurting your bankroll. You want to make sure you're doing your homework. Listen to Cash the Ticket. Mike Valeni and I will be breaking down every single bowl game, dropping new episodes nearly every day throughout college football's postseason. Spicing things up with a 12-team playoff. Can't wait to see some of those teams from the South come up north for the snow. Be sure to subscribe to Cash the Ticket on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Landing in Liberty, the largest sports bar north of the river and the home of over 65 HD TVs with every sports package. Hey, our motto is any game, anytime. 10,000 square feet under one roof to provide adequate social distancing. Our non-smoking patio is not covered, but in the winter it's home of the only dine-in heated igloos in the Northland. Each igloo has its own TV and sound system and seats up to 8 people. The Landing has a great menu featuring the best dry rub wings in Kansas City and the home of the Ben Mallard chicken fingers. Most of our menu items, dressing and wing sauces are house-made. Daily food specials, happy hour every day from 3 till 7 p.m. Live music on our smoking patio Thursday through Sunday nights. Make your next destination the Landing in Liberty. Food, fun, music, and sports. The Landing in Liberty, 1189 West Kansas Street in Liberty. Check us out online at thelandingeateryandpub.com. We'll see you at The Landing.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Heading into downtown, 670 eastbound at Main Street. An accident blocks 2 left lanes. Very slow from the River Building towards I-70. 35 northbound affected from before Penway. Inbound I-70, you're slow from around Little Blue Parkway. Stays heavy over past Lee Summit Road with an accident blocking the left lane. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Don't forget, coming up in about 25 minutes, Smash or Pass. And Mr. Fescoe, you don't know it. Mac and I do, but I have a surprise for you for Smash or Pass.
All right.
Yeah, I'll keep it at that. Man, still can't get over it. It's 3 games in 11 days. But
Math is hard, huh?
But we were saying 10. We'll also get into something that I never
just
thought.
because you were saying it doesn't mean it's
But
right.
it wasn't me. It was everybody. Like, everybody was saying 3 in 10 days. Hey, whatever. I'm glad we got it right. Here we are. Here's a Thursday. Coming up, we'll get to a little bit of a role shift between Bob and I, because Bob always tells me things as I appreciate it more than you might know about things that I probably should take away and not pay attention to.
Yeah.
He's like, why do you do this to yourself? Stop doing this. You know how the news is going to be every night. Somebody died. Depressing story. Here's the
lies,
weather.
misinformation, and scare tactics. That's all the news is.
But, we get to dive in with our guy from L.A., Ben Maller here.
It is time to talk to our guy, Ben Maller of Fox Sports Radio. Of course, you can catch him overnights right here on 96.5 The Fan, and it's all brought to you by The Landing in Liberty. And, Ben, we got to get started with the biggest news of the day. And, of course, Bill Belichick goes to North Carolina. Can you believe this is happening?
No, I love it, though. I'm all about it. And I thought, well, he's just using North Carolina to get back to the NFL, and he's just putting feelers out. He'll never actually take the job, but it appears he's taking the job. He's going to be the head coach of the Tar Heels. And when you think college football, you think Alabama, Notre Dame, Ohio State, and the Tar Heels of North Carolina. Unless you don't. Unless you think nothing about North Carolina football, and they haven't been good in almost 50 years. So, listen, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm betting my money that it's going to have the same impact as Deion Sanders did at Colorado. Deion is 13-11 as coach at Colorado, but they get talked about on shows like this, TV, internet, all that stuff, and I don't think Belichick's going to win a lot, but he is going to get guys that are going to compete for the Heisman and guys that will end up first-round draft picks in the NFL. So it's obviously a lot different than Deion. Deion's debonair, and he's got this some personality where you just love him. Parcells is Parcells' mentor, the mentor for Belichick, is the opposite of that. But I still think the result will be similar.
Yeah, I think it's going to be exciting, obviously. And, 10 years ago, I was telling Dusty last night, if you would have told me Deion Sanders and Bill Belichick are coaching in college football, I'd have said you were nuts. I mean, this is wild to think about it. I'm just wondering who the next big star is that's going to coach a college team.
Yeah, it's Andy Reid. When Andy Reid's done with the Chiefs, will Andy end up coaching somewhere, at San Diego State or something like that? Just like he's still got that itch he needs to scratch, and he wants to go back and coach. Why not? But with the NIL stuff, it makes all the sense. Like Bill Belichick's got a payroll. It's just like he's in the NFL. It's a smaller payroll. I saw the number was $20 million they're going to be spending to buy players for the Tar Heels, and he's going to hire all of his buddies. He's going to set his kid up. And this, by the way, I want to point out, Bob, when I was doing local stuff at WEI in Boston a couple years back, one of my guys told me that Belichick's plan with the Patriots was to coach long enough so he could pass the baton to his kid to replace him with the Patriots. It never worked out, but he found a way, it appears, in North Carolina. They're going to have one of his sons, the kid that's out at Washington, will eventually replace him as the coach at North Carolina. So Belichick did end up getting what he wanted, but not with the Patriots. It just has to happen somewhere else.
I think it's interesting now. I think maybe you can agree or disagree on this, but I think college football has shown us over the last 2 years that it's not necessarily a traditional sport anymore. Obviously, with NIL and portal, and you see what the college football playoffs look like, right? Like, who'd have thought Indiana, of all schools, would make it? Now, I know that's not NIL, but that's portal. That's a guy taking all of his kids from one school to the other and making it relevant, whether it's for a year or 2 years. Belichick to Carolina, he gets backed by Michael Jordan, so there's money there. The popularity that is North Carolina is there. I don't necessarily know if it's like comparable to Deion because of what Deion's personality is, but like we've seen in the NFL, your system works if you can get people to believe it. Dan Campbell's clearly is working in Detroit. Andy Reid's works in Kansas City. McVay's works in Los Angeles. I don't know if Belichick's way really works in college, but I am interested to see that point of Belichick in the collegiate level.
Yeah, so Dusty, just to piggyback on what you said, it's one of the reasons I think that Nick Saban's on TV now is he didn't want to deal with it. Like, it's the great equalizer. Like, a guy like Belichick can go to North Carolina, and if they absolutely kill it recruiting and they buy the right players and they get the right guys in the portal, North Carolina, I don't think it's going to happen, but North Carolina will be a player in big-time college football immediately. Like, that is impossible. Would never have happened in previous generations. Like, and they were always paying for players. Players were always the top players getting money. Let's not be naive. But now it's all out in the open, and guys are negotiating. And I saw one of the coaches this week, I think it was Lincoln Riley, said, like, every year in college football, even though you're on scholarship, if you don't play well, they can get rid of you and encourage you to leave. And so it's like every single season, everyone's a free agent in college football. It's absolutely the wild, wild west right now, and it's impossible for I've been trying to keep up, and I love the Deion story in Colorado. I'm obviously going to follow Belichick, so I've been trying to follow this, but with the portal and the NIL stuff, it's impossible. I mean, I got other things I got to pay attention to keep track of where guys are going. It's wild.
It really is. And, I had somebody on X, formerly Twitter, say that, they missed the legacies and dynasties of college sports. I'm like, I don't. This is great. Like, I'm a very ancillary, college fan. My alma mater has a fringe college program at best. And so I've never been like a huge college football fan. But this has brought me back in. So I think it's doing what it's supposed to do. And that's grab the ancillary fan, not the diehard, and turn them into bigger fans than they already were. College football's winning for me.
Yeah, hey, I'm right there with you. I mean, we on my overnight show we talk mostly the NFL. We don't talk too much college, but we talked a lot about Deion Sanders. We're going to talk a lot about Bill Belichick because those guys cross over. There's national appeal for those guys because of their personalities and what they've done in the NFL over the years. But it reminds me a little bit the vibe that occasionally we had said about the NFL. Like, anybody's got a shot, every year, if you play your cards right. Like, in college, it was never like that. We knew going into the year there were 10 schools, and of those 10, one of the teams would win the national championship. Like, this year, it's the usual blue bloods are there at the top, but there's other guys, there's other actors that are on the stage, and I think it's great. It at least gives you hope. If you, like we said, if you buy the right players, you have the right coach, as Dusty pointed out, you can go from absolute rubbish, absolute toxic waste, and then within a couple of years, bam, you're one of the 12 top teams, you're in the playoff. That opportunity is there. That has never been there before in my lifetime. It has never realistically been there. People have said it's there, but it wasn't there. Now it's absolutely, like, you look around, like, I know you're a Kansas guy, right? Kansas, they play their cards right, have the right group of players. Boom, they're all of a sudden in the mix to win a championship. That's insane.
So moving on from college to the NFL, right in your neck of the woods, man, I think there's one team I don't know if I want to play in the playoffs in the NFL. I think it's the Rams. Now, hear me out. I know Detroit is good. I know Philadelphia is good, but I'm really interested to see what Philadelphia has to do this Sunday because of what's been going on with that story, which I'm sure you're quite aware of that story over in Philadelphia. We get one of those versions every year, it seems. Detroit, I get it. They're the respectful number one. I'm not sleeping on Minnesota or Green Bay, but, man, the Rams they remind me of I guess, just a football team that had everybody out all year. And it was like, well, once they all get back, you'll see the real version of the team. They play again tonight on Thursday Night Football. Rams-Niners should be a good one. They're 3-point underdogs on the road. But I'm interested to know what you think about this team because with Puka, with Cooper, with Kyron Williams, and Matthew Stafford, that seems like a team that, man, they get in. their record is not what that team is.
Yeah, well, I'm biased. I like the Rams, so I'm a compromised witness when it comes to the Rams. And so McVay to me is a top 3 coach in the NFL. He's right there in the same class with Andy Reid and Mike Tomlin. To me, those are the top guys in the NFL. And Dan Campbell's moving up and all that stuff. The problem with the Rams, I don't take them seriously because their defense is so bad. They have to score. They gave up 42 points. Josh Allen had a video game cheat code game against that Rams defense. The Rams have a couple guys on defense that are decent. They're young players that they like. They drafted them the last couple of years, but they don't stop anybody. So, they're going to need in a playoff environment, Jared, if they played the Lions, the Rams, Jared Goff would have to throw interception. They wouldn't stop Saquon Barkley, but they could score. The Rams can score with anybody, which makes them very entertaining to watch. And, as far as you wouldn't want to play them, you want to play the Rams defense. You don't want to play the Rams offense. So it's like a half a team, the Rams. They do remind me of some previous teams Sean McVay had. They actually got to, if I remember, the Super Bowl they got to, the first one with McVay, it was kind of similar. They had a really good offense and their defense wasn't very good. So it's kind of like that. But, yeah, in terms of the NFC, there's really 2 teams. You got the Eagles and you got the Lions. And then after that, I don't take Minnesota seriously because of Sam Darnold, even though he's got great numbers. I don't trust him. And there's a lot of wild card teams that could go either direction in the NFC.
And please tell me you're not calling the Lions-Bills matchup this weekend a Super Bowl preview like some of the other networks have been saying with this big game. But nonetheless, here in Kansas City, we're huge Lion fans, and if all things go the way it's supposed to go, the Chiefs could have the number 1 seed wrapped up, 4 days before the Christmas Spectacular. And because of all the money and people that are invested in this thing on Christmas Day, I hope that's a meaningless game for Kansas City.
So are you going to have your Honolulu Blue on this weekend?
Hell yeah, I am.
Yeah, you're all about it. Now, I just love the fact for years when the Bills and Lions would play, they would play in the preseason. Remember, it was there was that Rust Belt Trophy that the Cleveland Browns and the Bills and the Lions they had for who was the top team in the Rust Belt, and now it actually means something. But I'm leaning towards Buffalo. I know that's not what you want to hear, but I love Josh Allen on the bounce back. And I just thought the Bills got trapped last week. They were looking ahead to this game with the Lions, and they didn't take the Rams for whatever reason. I don't want to say they didn't take them seriously, but it was a sandwich situation, and they didn't put their best light forward. I expect a much better performance. And the Lions, the problem with the Lions, if you look at their last 2 games, the Thanksgiving game and then the previous game, they've only really played half a game. They didn't play a full game. Against the Packers, they got smoked in the second half defensively. And against the Bears, Caleb Williams actually lit them up after halftime in that game also. So if you have trouble with Caleb Williams and Jordan Love, I would think, I know it's a simpleton's way to look at it, that Josh Allen's going to have his way with that Lions defense at some point. So, but I'm looking forward to watching it. It's going to be, obviously, it's the game of the weekend, not the Super Bowl preview. Because if the Bills and Lions play in the Super Bowl, I think people will be very upset at television networks. I think Fox has the next Super Bowl. They're not going to be real happy with that.
Ken, we appreciate the time as always. Enjoy the Heisman Trophy presentation and seeing Travis Hunter walk away with the prize.
Yeah, he'll have the bling bling. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ben. Appreciate it. All brought to you by the Landing in Liberty. Don't forget, you got a pretzel named after me up there now, and, of course, the Ben Maller chicken tenders as well. So get to the Landing in Liberty.
Bob's Big Pretzel?
That's right, yeah.
With that good queso and mustard on the side.
So good. The pretzel is just so awesome. Oh, my God. I love that pretzel so much. I may leave the show right now.
I was going to say, I think you need to leave the show and go be in private.
I would make out with that pretzel.
Shoot. I mean, if not more. So you can't seem to let this guy go.
I think it's pretty evident that the Mets have decided that they're going to pursue winning and winning for a long time. They've made it very clear to us that they're not limited to signing one great player, but multiple great players. So, that they're going to be, I think, a very steady and heavy commitment to acquiring the best talent.
That is the voice of Scott Boras. You just...
I think for pitching, Corbin Burns. It's kind of like Elvis. He's got that Burnsing love for a number one starter. You are really feeling it today, and very early this morning for me, I might add.
So now he's quoting Elvis, and then now he's talking about Bregman.
You know, we've had numerous meetings with teams and owners, and we all know what comes after AB, you know. That is the C in champions, and in Bregman's case, it's C squared, and all these teams.
Okay. Yeah. So for some reason, I don't know why you do this to yourself, but you listen to these Boris takes. Because like yesterday, to give people a scene of what we do, we're sitting in the back office, and I just hear your phone. I'm like, why are you doing this, Bob? Why do you do this to yourself every year? He said that Hosmer's market was magma. Mm-hmm. It was the Royals and the Padres. There was
nobody else.
And I still don't understand that it's hot as magma when there's two teams.
Well, he was talking about the Padres were hot magma, and they were going to erupt and be
That's
this great
it.
franchise. Yeah, no, he was talking about the Padres' young players.
You
and
can't
whatnot.
do it to yourself, man.
Well,
you can't.
It's just so cringe.
But why do you do it?
Because I'm interested to see what he's going to come up with that's ridiculous. But the more I hear him,
Burns in love.
Yeah, Burns in love. Yeah. Hunka Burns in love in pitching. But the more I hear from Scott Boras, it really amazes me how Major League Baseball allowed that guy to basically cannibalize their sport. I mean, Scott Boras is, and I've said this before and I'll continue to say it, he is the worst thing that has ever happened to Major League Baseball. Mm-hmm. And people will say, well, he's great for his client. Well, the last couple of years he hasn't been great for his clients. I mean, they're not exactly getting the top dollar that he thought they were going to get all the time for every one of his clients. Some of his clients achieved that success, and he'll get 3% of these nice deals and call it a day. But he has allowed Major League Baseball, or Major League Baseball has basically allowed him to dictate everything that's going to go on in this game. If you want to know why we don't have a salary cap and a salary floor in Major League Baseball, Scott Boras is the reason for that. And these clients that he has in a lot of Major League Baseball, they just lap it out of his hand, like the dog going to the dog bowl and lapping up whatever Scott Boras is selling out there. And that's why Major League Baseball I don't want to use the term crisis, but it's in the situation that it's in from a salary standpoint. I mean, Juan Soto is going to make more money in 1 year than Bill Belichick is going to make in 3 years coaching at North Carolina by $15 million or $16 million. Belichick's getting $30 million for 3 years. Juan Soto's making $46 million per year for 15 years. So in 1 year, he's going to make $16 more million, and arguably the greatest football coach of this generation is going to make for 3 years. And I find that to be crazy. I saw a Bob Nightingale stat today that said the winter meetings, man, $1.2 billion was spent on players. Well, $765 was spent on Soto, and another $220 was spent on Max Fried. So it's not like they're spending all of this money equally and all the players are getting all this. They spent $1.2 billion, and the majority of it was spent on two individual players. So you can't float that out there of, $1.2 billion was spent. Look how great baseball is. That was two players that went to the Yankees and the Mets. And from what I understand, the Royals really don't have much wiggle room when it comes to cash right now. So they're not going to be that active. They don't have a minor league system right now other than Blake Mitchell that a lot of people are coveting in the trade market. So there's probably not going to be a lot of movement there as well. So I hate to say it, but I think like what we have right now is probably going to be maybe a move here or there, a minor one, is going to be what the Royals, put out there on opening day in March, which is fine. It's a good team, right? But it's a spot though where you're going to brag, and again, all these insiders are lapdogs for Scott Boras. So they're going to, $1.2 billion was spent on players. Qualify that and quantify that and say the majority of that was spent on two players and nothing else is happening. But yet Scott Boras gets to dictate all of this for baseball, and baseball just allows him to do it. And that's why, for me, a lockout is the best thing that could happen to Major League Baseball. It happened to the NHL. They reset everything. They got back on ESPN, and nobody talks about a work stoppage in hockey. If baseball shuts it down and does it right and eliminates the Scott Boras crap from their game, they're going to have a better opportunity to have more success in more markets than they are right now. And I think what's good for everybody is what baseball should strive for, not what's good for 5 or 6 franchises and an agent.
You've seen the movie Ferngully?
No, I never even heard of that one.
Really? Have you ever seen the movie Ferngully? Okay. Well, it's a movie about like a fictitious forest or whatever where everybody lives and it's beautiful and it's beginning to get tormented by a oil leak. Or it's a Disney movie, I believe. It's really good. Robin Williams, I believe, is in it. Tim Curry's in it. Good movie. I bet your kids would love it. It's actually like an old school cartoon movie. In fact, Avatar basically is the live action of Ferngully.
Okay.
You seen Avatar?
Yeah.
Same concept.
Okay.
That's what Boris is, man. He's an oil leak in the system that used to be so beautiful, but now is ruined and tainted. I mean, hell, the Royals really don't do business with Scott Boras athletes anymore because of this whole,
Well,
thing.
they did and they didn't. I mean, like Dayton always had a great relationship with Scott Boras, and like before Dayton got here, they never would draft anybody that was a Boras client, right? They stayed away, and then Dayton got in here. He had a good relationship with Scott Boras, and that's why they drafted Haas, and Moose was part of that as well, and some of those guys. But I just think right now, Major League Baseball's got to find a way to get their game back from the control that Scott Boras has. He thinks he runs baseball. He thinks he runs the union, and these players look at Scott Boras and they'll follow that guy, into a fire, which is ridiculous. And no agent in the NFL has that kind of control of anything, right? Like you may say, who's Tyreek's agent down there in Florida?
Rosenhaus?
Yeah, Drew Rosenhaus. Like you may say, but Drew Rosenhaus doesn't dictate the game, doesn't dictate the rules of the NFL.
Also because there's a cap.
But there is. Yeah, there absolutely is. But nobody in other sports is doing to the game what Scott Boras is doing from an agent perspective. An agent should not have this much control of a sport.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the guy's a boob. That's for sure. I can't stand him. Coming up on the other side, it is Smash or Pass on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
Fescoe and Dusty.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
My friends over at Foaling, man, they're going to do it for you right this holiday season or any time of year because Foaling is perfect for everybody. Football plus bowling plus bar equals Foaling Warehouse, Kansas City. And they're located at 435 in State Line. And I've been telling people for over a year now how awesome Foaling is. And if you're thinking to yourself, is it good for me? Yes, Foaling is perfect for everyone. Guys, gals, kids, adults, parties, guys' night out, girls' night out, date night. It doesn't matter. Foaling is so much fun. You're going to have the time of your life. It is bowling with a football. That's right. You set up the bowling pins. You throw that football at them. You knock them down. And the first one to knock them all down absolutely 100% wins and becomes champion. And you get to brag to all your friends that you dominated in foaling. So come learn about foaling, the bonkhorn, the rules to keep you on your toes, and play a game that is sweeping across America. Plus, take advantage of their world-class bar. They make great cocktails. They have all kinds of different beers on tap. And you can bring your own food to Foaling as well. So reserve a lane at FoalingKC.com. That's FoalingKC.com and get your foal on.
Welcome to TGL presented by SoFi. Golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime forcing, layoffs on the line golf. Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour split into 6 teams. Learn more at TGLGolf.com and tune into the inaugural season beginning January 7th. Keep up, it's golf.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at tryethos.com. That's tryethos.com.
Welcome to TGL presented by SoFi. Golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime forcing, layoffs on the line golf. Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour split into 6 teams. Learn more at TGLGolf.com and tune into the inaugural season beginning January 7th. Keep up, it's golf.
We just found out that Daisy Sour Cream launched French onion and ranch sour cream dips. I love dips, and these new dips from Daisy Sour Cream are a game changer. They taste just as good as if they were homemade. They are made with Daisy Sour Cream and real herbs and spices. These new dips from Daisy Sour Cream are made with ingredients that you find in your kitchen, nothing more. Give these new French onion and ranch dips from Daisy a try. They go perfect with chips, wings, veggies, and so much more. Grab some new Daisy dips today.
The holidays are happening at Diamonds Direct. Still rushing to finish your holiday shopping? Don't worry, we've got you covered. This weekend only, it's our last chance sale with 20% off virtually everything. Earrings, bracelets, pendants, and more. Plus special financing options up to 5 years. But don't wait, this is your final opportunity to find the perfect gift at the best value before the holidays. Plus special designer appearances. Visit us during extended holiday hours or shop online and pick up in store. Our 20% off last chance sale ends Sunday. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com.
Thanks, Bob. We're here with Doug the Elf, asking about the hottest holiday gifts of the year. Doug, what's on your list?
Yeah, we're getting Missouri lottery scratchers and draw games. We came all the way from the North Pole.
They don't have lottery tickets there?
Not Missouri lottery tickets. They created a new millionaire every 8.1 days last year. Woohoo! I just won!
But I thought that was a gift.
Well, yeah, for me.
You heard it here first. Scratchers and draw games from the Missouri Lottery make great gifts for the holidays. Play it forward and play responsibly. Back to you in the studio.
Listen, you've been making house payments for years, right? And right now your home's value has never been higher, right? That means you're likely sitting on a small fortune in equity. And good for you. That's cash you could use to help secure your retirement, solve all your financial burdens, enable you to travel everything you want. The catch is, you're not ready to move. No problem. You don't have to with TrueHold. Sell and stay leaseback program. It's a genius financial strategy. You sell your home to TrueHold while its value is high. You bank all the equity in cash now, and you can stay as long as you like with an easy, affordable lease. And TrueHold pays property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. TrueHold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a TrueHold offer now while your home's value is sky high. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out without moving out. TrueHold.com.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Heading into downtown, 670 eastbound, very heavy this morning. You hit delays really from the split with I-70. That long ramp is quite heavy and slow. It stays heavy over past 35 with an earlier problem around Main Street that had you down to one lane. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Back here on Fescoe and Dusty on a Thursday morning. Beautiful sunrise. Thanks to Ben Mallard joining the show. Thanks to the Landing and Liberty for sponsoring that segment. Are you guys hungry? I don't know how hungry you get at 7:45 when you wake up at 4:45, or I guess 3:45, I should say.
I'm not that hungry. No, I don't usually get hungry till early afternoon.
Somebody told me, I think it was Cody from 106.5. She was like, have you acquired your 11 o'clock stomach yet? And I was like, there's days.
Yeah.
When I'm like, but I mean, it's also like, what do I eat? Do I eat a full lunch? Do I wait? I know you eat kind of early dinner.
Yeah.
But man, there's sometimes where like my lunch is heavy. I'm like, I probably shouldn't eat that much.
And then skip dinner.
That's what I do, basically. Yeah. I just don't eat dinner. And then I go to bed and I wake up at like, 4 a.m.
They actually say dinner's the worst meal for you to eat. And that's when we eat our biggest, gluttonous meal for the most part is usually at dinner time because it doesn't have time to digest. And I read something the other day, if you eat after 5 o'clock, you're going to die. And like all this other nonsense that they just, portray and put out there that they want people to believe and whatnot. So, but in all seriousness, like dinner should be the smallest meal. Like you should have your biggest meal at breakfast and then wind yourself down as you get closer to, bedtime.
Well, you can have a huge breakfast, as we get to smash or pass here on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5. You found this breakfast lasagna.
How good does that look, right?
When I first heard it, I was like, gross. What's it going to be made out of? Like lasagna noodles and eggs? You're like, yeah, that's exactly what it is, but also like 1,000 cheeses and eggs. I would absolutely smash a breakfast
sausage.
lasagna.
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely. Absolutely. And you're like, oh, you probably do it with hash browns or something. Like, nope, 9 lasagna noodles are in this thing. So it literally is like a breakfast lasagna. Eggs, sausage, cheese, all that kind of stuff. Who's not in on something like that? That sounds outstanding. Now,
I'm always in on breakfast.
I don't want to make that because it seems like a lot of
it's just
time
repetitive,
and tedious and all that. And I'm not that making a lasagna. I'll leave that to Jasper. He'll take care of that for me. But
there you go.
like the breakfast one though, I'd eat that if somebody brought that over and said, "Here, we're having breakfast lasagna today." I'm in.
Yeah, I just saw your Twitter post.
Who, mine?
Yeah.
No, the sunrise with the car.
Ruined.
Yeah, ruined. It's ruined.
You could pan over to the right.
I mean,
but
this guy can't park.
I understand that.
Every day he parks over the line, and he parks like really close to the light pole. I don't know how he gets out of this vehicle.
He's just not smashing breakfast lasagna. Because we were talking about the Christmas Day game. Like, I feel like Christmas Day, so I go to 2 houses. And we'll smash tacos at the evening house.
Okay, that's good.
We always just do a taco bar, queso, all that sort of stuff. But I was thinking, like, since like the game can be a distraction, and you're doing the Christmas morning stuff. We're not a huge household at my dad's house. It's just 5 people. But like, doesn't brunch seem like a good idea for Christmas?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
like mimosas or Bloody Marys, whatever your fix is. And then just do, like you said, like a breakfast casserole. Everybody makes a breakfast item, and you just kind of have a brunch for the game. And then you can just kind of, get a plate, go in there at your own convenience. I feel like brunch is a good idea for Christmas Day this year.
Yeah, no, I think with the game being at noon, there's no question about it. Yeah,
and you can cook everything at like 11,
Yeah.
and then it's just like eat now, or you can eat during the game, whatever you want to do, it's there for you.
Exactly. No, brunch is perfect for a Christmas Day game.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that idea. But the breakfast lasagna, you make it, I'll eat it, but I ain't making it.
For sure. No, I make a breakfast casserole where you just take frozen tater tots and you put it in a bowl, and then you brown breakfast sausage. Put that in the bowl afterwards. Don't cook the tater tots.
I was going to say, you don't cook the tater
not
tots.
Yet.
Okay.
Then you put shredded cheese in there, mix it all together, and then you pour it in like a pan that's like greased up, and then you pour your scrambled eggs over the top of it. Then you throw it in the oven, and those tater tots kind of cook in there with the egg. Dude, it's so good.
Do the tots get crispy?
Kind of, but you don't really want them to. You want them to be like a hash brown.
Really?
Yeah, it's almost like a it's really good. It's really, really good.
Because I like my fries, my tots, all that kind. I like them crispy. I don't like soggy fries.
Yeah,
man.
like the way you had your fries pictured the other night. Those are smashable.
Yeah, right. They were out of the air fryer. Reheat them. They were very crispy. And the kids like, these are hard. I'm like, no, they're really good. This is the way you want your fries. You don't want to like hang in there limp.
The 785 says, "Dog, switch the nudes for pancakes," and I'm in. It's a good idea.
Sprinkle with bacon bits.
Yeah,
I do like the verbiage there. Dog, switch the nudes.
Dog, switch the nudes for pancakes.
For sure. That's definitely me. If it has hot country gravy and bacon instead of red sauce and sausage. There's no red sauce.
No, there's no red sauce at all.
Cheese, eggs, butter, and whatever else. There's no red sauce.
No red sauce, no. No, you're not putting red sauce on eggs.
Yeah,
No, God, no, that would be disgusting, I think.
Another smasher pass. It looks like Kirkland and Costco might be doing something. You know those pretzel peanut butter bites? You said you're not a huge fan?
Not a huge fan. The peanut butter's never good in those for me.
Well, it's been in the pretzels forever. How long?
I know. That's like, it's always a disappointment because I love peanut butter. I love pretzels. I see those.
They're
I
so
bought
good.
them like,
they're so good. I can eat like an entire jar. I did once, and Binkley got pissed at me. But now they're coming out with a new version, and it's peanut butter and jelly pretzel bites.
Yeah. I mean, I would try one if there's a sample.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if it's Costco,
there's going to be a sample. They want to move those, right?
Which brings up our new thing. Bob has never had an Uncrustable.
I have never done that before, and I will do that right
and
now. I
went out and bought some yesterday because he said the reason he's never had one is because he's afraid he might like it too much.
Yeah.
Boy, these things are a little. You're going to understand why the NFL teams eat 375 of these a week.
I think you need at least 2 bites to get into the good stuff.
Not a fan.
Not a fan? 2 bites,
Get a little corner piece there. You might be lying to yourself. These are.
You got to get into the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't I break it in half?
That's it.
There you go. Look at that beautiful cross section.
What is that
so
from?
good.
That's from something.
A guy he's an influencer cooker. He's like, look at that beautiful cross section. Now let's go in for that bite. And he's like, let's go in for that bite.
Oh, yeah, you showed me this.
I mean,
That's
it's
where it's
okay.
at.
It's all right. I mean,
Am I going to go out and buy these? No.
I'll buy 15 boxes of them. Dude. Is it grape or strawberry jelly that you like more?
I like strawberry better.
So you're passing.
No, I mean, I'm mid,
Mid-smash.
Mid-smash. Like, all right, if they're there,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to go seek them out,
I think to me, too, I haven't connected to, like, Lake House. Like, that's really where me and my family go hard on the Uncrustables. So maybe it's connected to, we go hard on the Uncrustables at the Lake House, baby. That's what happens. So maybe it's connected
I always
to that.
eat one after sex.
Smash.
I was over at the Summit Trail Middle School the other
I rarely
day.
eat them.
Yeah, you never eat them, then, right? Yeah. And we were over there for a cheer fest at Summit Trail, and they had on their menu up for lunch, right? And I took a picture, and I put this on X, formerly Twitter, and it said Uncrustable meal. Like, what are you getting with the Uncrustable? Are you getting a side of tots? Are you doing a fruit cup? Like, an Uncrustable meal. This is not a meal. This is a portion of a meal. But if you're giving this to the kids, are you giving them, like, fruit? Are you giving them fries? Are you giving them Bosco sticks, which was another thing on the menu?
Love Bosco sticks.
Yeah. I mean, but what's an Uncrustable meal?
3 of them.
Maybe.
This is 200 calories.
210 calories, 10 grams of sugar. It's a lot less in
Jeez.
calories and sugar than I thought it was going to be, quite honestly. I thought this was
they
going to
take the
be
crust away.
a weak supply of sugar in this thing. But what would you serve with it? You give them 2? Is 2 count as a meal? Maybe that's what it is.
I would do one of those like little hash brown squares.
Could do that. Maybe. I don't know.
With some, you don't really need fruit. You got the jelly.
Yeah.
Milk.
Milk, yeah. So you get your sandwich, you get a side, and you get your milk.
Yeah.
Now, a glass of milk, ice cold milk with this would be great.
Yeah.
I'm
all in.
That would be good. You're not a milk guy, huh?
Nah, I'm almond milk. I get my coffee only.
And you don't live in Johnson County?
No. You're the one that gave the Uncrustable a 2.5 rating.
I mean, it's all right. It's, whatever.
Then the 913 says throw the Uncrustable in the toaster and you're partying. I've never done that.
Or
That's
the
interesting.
air fryer.
That's interesting. I'm going to give that a shot.
Then that makes that peanut butter melt. Like when we were in COVID and we were working at Jack Stack in the back, we put Uncrustables in the fryer. Holy Lord.
Oh, I bet those were good,
That's
though.
good.
Yeah.
The guy looked at me. He was a funny dude. He goes, the jelly's still cold. And I was like, I know it's
Good.
good. I was
You
like,
nailed it.
and the peanut butter was gooey.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was
Oh,
tight.
that does sound pretty good, actually.
I mean,
yeah.
it was
No,
awesome.
that really
it was
does.
awesome. Like it came out, we were like those what is that, the RSMO or what are those videos are called where you like
ASMR?
Yeah, where you scratch, it was like you could scratch the top of it with a knife and it was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
crispy, bit into it and it's like it's still gooey and cold. Oh, it was money.
How long did you fry them for? Like 30 seconds?
Shoot, like a minute.
No, that long.
Yeah,
Okay.
just kind of put them down there and flipped it over and over. It was great.
Yeah.
Apparently the honey Uncrustable is where it's at. Peanut butter and honey.
Oh.
I didn't know that was the thing.
I didn't either. I haven't seen those yet.
Give it a shot.
Do they have different, do they have chunky peanut butter in there?
That's my favorite. But I think chunky.
Do they have a chunky Uncrustable?
I haven't looked. Dude, I just found out they're in the freezer section yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I've
Yeah,
never
of course,
bought them.
man.
They're in the freezer section.
Yeah, keep them in
Yeah,
the
you
freezer.
have to thaw them out. That's why they're so cold. You have to thaw them out for an hour. So at 6:45, I went to the freezer and took them out.
Oh.
Next
They're
week,
great for the lake.
next week we can try the frozen dinner that's in there.
No,
it's
we're
Guy
not going to
Fieri's
do
hot
that.
dog
No.
tater tots.
Excuse me?
You want me to get it for you at the break?
Hot dog tater tots?
Chili dog tater tot casserole from Flavor Town, man. Oh, God. On diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Oh, my God. Like, if you made that yourself, fine, but a pre-made frozen meal with how many,
I'll go get it for you. To the
how
break
much
so you see it.
sodium is in that thing?
Enough for the rest of your life. There's also a Gordon Ramsay's fish and chips in there, too. We could try. I'm Dusty Likens, and we're rolling out. We come back, we're talking about Bill Belichick, Chapel Hill on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty
What the hell's wrong with your station?
on Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, the new year is getting ready to start, and you don't want to start the new year in pain, right? You want to go into the new year feeling great, and you want to be able to do what you love, not say, I can't because my knees or my hips hurt. So what you're going to do is take action now and get pain relief you deserve for 2025. Call my friends over at QC Kinetics and say goodbye to shoulder and back pain. QC Kinetics local medical professionals are waiting for you. Their advanced protocols in regenerative medicine have helped tens of thousands of people get lasting relief. Imagine a new year without those achy joints. No more pain pills, no more steroid shots. QC Kinetics uses the healing properties of your own body to attack the root cause of your pain, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. It's the future of medicine. And if you've been told surgery is your only or best option, you deserve a second opinion. Find out if all natural regenerative medicine is right for you. Call QC Kinetics now. They're accepting appointments on Saturdays. The consultation is free, and you can use HSA and FSA dollars. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. 816-412-6299.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the propane tank on your grill first, before hosting a tailgate.
Let's fire up.
Here, let me try. Seriously? You didn't check the propane? Who wants chips?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Salt and vinegar?
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Thanks, Bob. We're here with Doug the Elf, asking about the hottest holiday gifts of the year. Doug, what's on your list?
Yeah, we're getting Missouri lottery scratchers and draw games. We came all the way from the North Pole.
They don't have lottery tickets there?
Now, Missouri lottery tickets. They created a new millionaire every 8.1 days last year. Woohoo! I just won!
But I thought that was a gift.
Well, yeah, for me.
You heard it here first. Scratchers and draw games from the Missouri Lottery make great gifts for the holidays. Play it forward and play responsibly. Back to you in the studio.
Looking for last-minute gifts? Shane Company can help, even if you're still planning to propose. We have a wide selection of hand-picked diamonds and colorful gemstones in stock for dream engagement rings. Come discover fine jewelry gifts in every price range, curated by our in-house design team and crafted with care to our high-quality standards. At Shane Company, we'll protect your gifts with our unmatched free lifetime warranty. Visit shaneco.com to find your store's extended hours and the perfect holiday gifts. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
The Gingerbread Holiday Pop-Up at T-Mobile Center. The Gingerbread is Kansas City's newest and most delicious destination this holiday season. Located at Conica Minolta Founders Club inside T-Mobile Center, the Gingerbread is a magical, one-of-a-kind experience where you can celebrate in style. You'll love it. Visit t-mobilecenter.com for more.
This Chiefs coverage is brought to you by Peter's Clothiers. Men, you need to look great for holiday events. Let Peter's Clothiers give you the perfect fit you're looking for. From jackets to suits to trousers and more, in sizes to fit every man. PetersClothiers.com or stop in today at 124th and State Line.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
70 heading towards downtown, very slow from 18th Street Expressway and stays heavy continuing on to 670, crossing the river and over towards 35. So 35 southbound is slow from I-70 down towards 670 with an accident on the ramp. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
You're listening to the all-new 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports. KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Back here on Sportstown USA, I once had a show called Out of Bounds, and in respect to Guy Fieri, because sometimes when he eats good food, he's like, man, that was out of bounds.
That was out of bounds.
Yeah, dude. I'm serious. Like, I know it is. Fridays on the Food Network, it's just a consistent.
24/7, yeah.
Like, I love it. Like, I'll sit there and be like, damn, it's 7 o'clock and I haven't changed the channel.
I know, but it always makes me hungry when I'm watching
Of
diners,
course.
drive-ins, and dives, and that's not good for my waistline. You
That
know?
tater tot thing didn't make you hungry?
No, that made me want to. No, 1,840 milligrams
That's
of
right.
sodium in that thing.
Yeah,
I've
dude.
never seen anything like that before. I don't even know like a bulk-size salt shaker has that much sodium in it.
Flavortown Tots, man.
Ooh, gosh.
1,840 milligrams.
I was stunned, like shocked when I saw that. That's like your yearly intake of salt.
Yeah.
But Dusty says, you think your ankles will swell if you eat that? I go, I think I go into cardiac arrest.
Yes, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. Loaded chili cheese dog tots from Flavortown, Guy Fieri.
Speaking of heart attacks, my wife said to us last night, she goes, if you're ever having a heart attack and you're by yourself, they say you're supposed to cough because that can make and my daughter looks at her and goes, like, you're going to remember to do that during a heart attack, right?
That's definitely your child.
She's 15. She's like, yeah, nobody's going to remember to sit there. You're having a heart attack. Oh, let me cough.
Yeah. No, you're going to use your right arm to call the emergency line.
We're all going to be like, my heart.
I got to pull a sausage stuck in my heart.
Yeah.
Ditka.
Chris Farley and Ditka.
Yeah. Bill Belichick to Chapel Hill, or as everybody's calling it, Chapel Bill.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I think it's interesting when you look at the dynamic of it because a lot of people have their spin on it. I know that you probably heard most of them. Some people will say that he took this job because the NFL wasn't calling. I don't believe that. I think he took this job because he's setting up his son, and then he's going to go on and do the NFL. He's 72, I believe, years old, years young. We know that you can coach in the NFL at 75. We know that they're going to be people that'll try to do that. He's so close to the record. But I think this is one of those things where, like, I don't know if it's a midlife crisis, but I do think it's somewhere on the line of he's intrigued and he wants to prove it. College football is completely different than it used to be.
No doubt.
5 years ago.
2 years ago.
Literally, yeah. And he goes to North Carolina. He takes Michael Lombardi with him to be the general manager. Bill Belichick, breaking news, will not be doing house visits. Dion doesn't do house visits. He doesn't need to. Football in college is now basically a minor league system of the NFL for the athletes, right? And maybe some of the coaches as well as they're getting younger in the world of sports. But
older.
in college, this is the anomaly. Bill Belichick going to Chapel Hill.
They technically got younger at head coach.
Right. Yeah, because Mac Brown was there. They said, see you later.
Yeah, he was 73.
But Michael Lombardi will be the guy that goes and recruits the players and handles the NIL and the money, and Belichick will handle the X's and O's. The only thing that I'm concerned about with Bill Belichick is that, obviously you have Dion's way. It works. People that play for him love it. That's why it works, because they also believe it. We always say, can a college coach make it in the pros? Because you can't talk to college kids the way you can talk to grown-ass men. I think that's been a take for everybody on this show.
And I still think that's the case. I do.
Right.
Yeah.
Can Belichick's coaching be believable and, can it be grown in the college station? I know that's not where they play, but I'm saying at a college area. I don't know, but I can tell you that if I'm a college athlete or if I'm a quarterback, man, I'm probably picking that guy's brain to see what he did with Brady to win 6 titles.
Well, I think it's going to be very interesting to see if Bill Belichick has that success, because I do believe he called the NFL and twice last week, every team going, are you sure you're not making a coaching decision? Are you sure? Because this thing played out for a while, right? And I feel like, again, just my perception, we know how close he is to Shula's record. I think 14 games or whatever it is away from being the all-time winningest coach in the NFL. The Giants have a situation going on that's always kind of been his dream job. I feel like he did all of his due diligence around the NFL and called everybody that he could possibly call. And they all said, nah, we're not interested. We're not interested. And so Bill, who I think has much more to prove than anybody really understands, decided, okay, I've always wanted to coach college. I'm going to give this an opportunity to go coach at North Carolina. And for me, a guy who's, a passive college fan other than my Buckeyes, I like this because it creates interest for me. Just like Dion did. The Dion effect, I don't think people realize how awesome that Dion effect was for all of college football. Now Bill Belichick, another name as a head coach, is going to have that kind of effect on college football as well. You got Dion and Bill Belichick coaching college football right now. If you're a sports fan and that doesn't intrigue you, man, I'm sorry, I can't help you in that scenario, because this is very, very intriguing. I just wonder if kids are going to know that Bill Belichick was relevant, because, as we've said, there will be a guy drafted in the next 2 years that didn't know that Andy Reid coached the Philadelphia Eagles. The last time Bill Belichick was truly relevant was the 2019 season when they beat the Chiefs and went on to that Super Bowl. The following year was COVID. Brady left, went down to Tampa, and the Patriots haven't been good since that 2019 season. That's 5 years since Bill Belichick was relevant. Think about a college freshman at 18. The last time Bill Belichick was a legit good coach, that guy was 13. They have vague memories of Bill Belichick being this dominating coach in the NFL.
Bill Belichick, 26 wins behind Shula.
26, okay.
Don't look now. Andy Reid is 58 wins behind Shula.
Ooh, magic number, 58, too.
Right? If he gets to the Super Bowl and goes the rest of the year, if he goes the rest of the year without losing and wins the Super Bowl, he'll be 51 behind Shula.
Mm-hmm.
That's what, 5 years of winning 10 games?
Yeah.
He'll do that.
Yeah.
Right?
He's got 4 more years on his contract after this one, I believe, right? So, yeah, I mean, you can push
Andy
towards
Reid
that.
could catch him.
Absolutely.
1,000%.
Yeah.
So, again, does Bill start to see that? Because obviously the leaderboard is Shula at 328, Hallis at 318, which both Reid and Belichick will pass that.
Well, Belichick may not. He may never get back into the
That's
coach.
right. And Belichick's 302, and then Andy Reid 270. And if Andy Reid goes the rest of the season without a loss and wins the Super Bowl, he'd go from 58 wins behind him to 51. Andy Reid averaging, 11 wins a season in Kansas City? So that'd be 4 more years of football, 4 years left on his contract.
Yeah.
Let's say he wins the three-peat, passes Don Shula. There is no other question.
There's no debate. I mean, there just isn't a debate anymore. The fact that he's still 32 behind Belichick is wild to me, though.
Yeah.
And Andy Reid, it's not like he had bad years. He had 2, 3 maybe bad years in Philly, right? Like, I think his first year they weren't that good, and then the last 2 years we know what happened there. In between, they were a 10, 11-win team almost every year.
His first year they went 5-11, then they won at least 11 games for 5 straight years. Then he went 6-10 randomly in 05. And then 8-8, 9-6. He had another 8-8 year.
Okay, so he had some.
And then 4-12 was the one. And then the worst record he's had in Kansas City is 9-7.
9-7.
Since that 9-7 season, hold on with me, he's gone 11-5, 12-4, 10-6, 12-4, 12-4, 14-2, 12-5, 14-3, 11-6, and he's 12-1 this year.
Yeah, and you know what the interesting thing is?
That's how you catch up quick.
You know what the interesting thing in all that is? That's not all Patrick Mahomes either.
No, the last 7 are. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's again.
But he was winning double digits with Alex Smith every year.
Went 9. Well, not yeah. It's 9-7 that second year, but his first year here, 11-5. How you done?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think Bill Belichick is going to be a disaster in North Carolina.
No, I don't think he's going to be a disaster.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he wants to try something new. Maybe he wants a little piece of this, new age college football. Because again, now that you have general managers, you look at Stanford. They hired Andrew Luck.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to go do all the heavy lifting. He's going to do the recruiting, the money, the NIL, the portal, all that stuff, and then the coach is going to handle the X's.
No, I love this era of college football. I know the old guard doesn't like it, and it makes them all nervous and whatnot. But you know what? It's creating more interest. We got a playoff system in place now. We've got a team like Indiana, Boise State, SMU, in the playoff. Like, North Carolina could very well be in the college football playoff next year. And that's what I like. These schools that normally did not have an opportunity because they didn't cheat as good as the other ones did, now with everybody on the level playing field and the opportunity to go out there and legally pay the players and recruit coaches like Bill Belichick and Deion Sanders, I'm now excited to see who the next one is going to be, right? What if Andy finishes his contract here and BYU says, hey, would you coach us for 3 years? And he goes back to his alma mater and Andy Reid's coaching at BYU for 3 years to kind of finish out his career? Like, nothing would surprise me at this point in time.
I think this is the first time in this show's history that's been around for about 4.5 months, maybe just 4 months, where Mac and I are finally the old guy on the get off my lawn take with this next story that we'll bring up on the other side about an Ohio man. You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5, The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty. Make sure to follow us on Instagram @TheFan965 for behind-the-scenes content from the show. Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, here we sit. We're starting another week of the NFL tonight, and we got a big Thursday night game, and you can tackle all the NFL action on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out all the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/610Bob to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com/610Bob. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL and of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Men, it's the holidays, a time of love and joy. But if you suffer from erectile dysfunction, the season can be tough on you. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you and your partner are experiencing struggles because of ED, change it up this year. Give the best gift you can give to the one you love by treating your ED and restoring your relationship. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts at treating ED. And as a Promenic restorative health practice, we've literally seen countless thousands of relationships renewed across the nation. Plus, with treatments having success rates well over 90%, coupled with many treatment options, we can likely find the right one for you. You may even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us and give your partner the best gift you can give this season. A renewed, restored relationship. Your first visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in our office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Finding an attorney can be an overwhelming process. Fortunately, since 1996, Mark Ferguson has helped thousands of Kansas Cityans during their time of need. Whether you're facing a traffic violation or a more serious crime, Mark and his team of seasoned, compassionate professionals are here to fight for you in all of your legal matters. Mark has built his career on integrity, knowledge, and an incredible reputation. Call Mark Ferguson at 816-203-2263. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The holidays are happening at Diamonds Direct. Still rushing to finish your holiday shopping? Don't worry, we've got you covered. This weekend only, it's our last chance sale with 20% off virtually everything. Earrings, bracelets, pendants, and more. Plus special financing options up to 5 years. But don't wait. This is your final opportunity to find the perfect gift at the best value before the holidays. Plus special designer appearances. Visit us during extended holiday hours or shop online and pick up in store. Our 20% off last chance sale ends Sunday. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com.
It's better over here. If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has an exclusive rate plan just for you. Right now, get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Plus, you can get one of the latest 5G phones free when you add a line. That's right, a free 5G phone. Experience all this and more on America's largest 5G network. So why wait? At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Just go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 or visit your local store to make the switch.
With AutoPay using debit or bank account plus taxes and fees, 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Free phones up to $300 off with 24 monthly bill credits and qualifying new line for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Contact us before canceling entire account to continue remaining bill credits. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See details at T-Mobile.com.
Football season is in full swing, and you can take full advantage by winning some cash with Sleeper Picks. Sleeper Picks is a fantasy game, but you could win real money. Just pick more or less than at least 2 of your favorite player stats. If you're right, you could win. You can pick up to 8 players to win up to 100 times your money. For a limited time, Sleeper has a special offer. New users have to play $5, and they'll receive $55 in free bonus entries. That's right. If you deposit $25 and play $5, they'll give you 11 $5 bonus entries to start playing. So download the Sleeper app now and use promo code BLOCK and get in on this promo before time runs out. What are you waiting for? Download Sleeper today and unlock one of the fastest-growing fantasy sports apps in the world. Use code BLOCK to claim the play $5, get $55 bonus entry offer. That's code BLOCK. Must be at least 18 years old in most states and present in state where it is legal to wager. Promo code location, other restrictions apply. Minimum deposit $25. See terms of use for details at sleeper.com. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help. Sponsored by Sleeper, a Blitz product.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Heading into downtown, 670 eastbound, very slow coming off I-70. Crawls across the state line over past 35 and into the downtown loop with earlier problems. 71 northbound, pretty heavy into downtown from around 18th Street. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
All right, back here on 96.5 The Fan. Bob has said enough. He's done. You can see on the camera, he's out. Doesn't want to do it anymore. I'm kidding. He's chatting with our friend Cody Tapp.
Oh, wow.
Well,
that's interesting.
I get over things quickly. You break up with me, I'll be your friend in 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, probably. I don't hold grudges.
Yeah, I guess I'm
grudges
similar.
is not healthy.
Oh, I do. Oh, you better believe I do.
He's back.
Welcome back.
You get in my doghouse, you ain't getting out.
Ah, that sucks.
That's the Aries
too
in
bad.
me.
Oh.
No, it's not. Ask Josh. Josh, like, you got a lot of people that are on your dead to be a list. I go, yeah, I do.
Fair enough.
Some people have emerged from that.
Oh, okay. So then it can happen.
Maybe. I'm trying to think.
I'm so
Borderline.
confused.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like once you've wronged me, you're done. I'm not giving you a second opportunity.
Get out. So Mac, what are we doing here? A felony for planting a flag?
Man.
Soft. Like, literally.
What
like,
does this country come to?
I never thought I'd get to the point where I'd be like, we used to be able to smoke cigs with hair on our chest and spit in your neighbor's lawn. Now it's like, Mac and I are going to be like, man, I remember when it used to be like, you used to be able to plant a flag and brag on your opponent, and even if it was artificial field, Baker Mayfield, doesn't matter. Now the guy wants to make it a felony for doing so?
I mean, it's stupid. It really is. Like, win the game. Like, but this is peak 2024, 2025.
Because their son
where it's
is like
never about me. It's your problem.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make it about you instead of, like, looking into my inner self and going, maybe I messed that one up. Like, if you took care of Michigan and won the game, you wouldn't have some state wackadoodle coming out and trying to make a felony for planting a flag on the field. Take care of business. Focus on you. Do your job. Take care of what you can take care of, and then everything will fall into place. But because you didn't take care of your job, now some senator or whoever it is trying to look for a little limelight. You know, it must be an election year for this guy or whatever the case may be, trying to get his name out there. The way politicians truly get their name out there is with sports. Ask Frank White. He's done a marvelous job of being in the news. And so I think, like, this is just a guy who's an attention whore and is trying to grab the attention.
Yeah, it is Ohio State Representative Josh Williams. Introduced the can't make this up.
Never heard of him.
Introduced the OHIO Sportsmanship Act on Tuesday. The act would make it a felony offense to plant a flag in the center of Ohio Stadium.
What a waste of time.
So can you plant it in the end zone?
Yeah.
It just says center.
Yeah.
That's how petty I'd be.
I mean,
but like,
what a waste of everybody's time.
Like, what are we doing here? Like, why are we... what are we worried about that for? I mean, I just don't.
I mean,
get that.
really. I mean, this is peak. Like, oh, let's praise Josh Allen for losing a football game. Let's make a law that says you can't plant a flag because you lost a football game. Like, the object of the game is winning, and if you don't win, move on. Be a man. Stop trying to blame everybody else. Stop trying to blame everybody else for your problems. And this is coming from somebody who roots for Ohio State. You know? Like, this is dumb. I don't think, like, there's no way anybody other than this guy looks at that and goes, that's a good idea. Chet, or whatever his name is.
Josh.
Write this down. Get this in front of somebody.
A cool college story, though. That one a bad college story. This one good. How about that Marshall coach, man?
Oh, man, this is great.
This is your favorite story of the year.
It really is.
On December 12th.
Yeah, other than the Chiefs obviously winning the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
But this is my favorite story of sports this year.
Right.
I guess Marshall, the Thundering Herd, fired their coach, right?
After winning the championship, right?
Did they win their league?
It says on a tweet, it says, you got to love this. These young men knew their head coach was done wrong. He took them to the championship, won it, you fire him.
Oh, okay. I missed that part, so they fired him. Because the entire Marshall football team has now entered the transfer portal, which I absolutely love. That's why the transfer portal is good, right?
Yeah, follow the leader.
Stupid ass AD, who the athletic directors in this country, you talk about stealing money. These guys making $4 or $5 million a year. Are out here firing this coach who the players loved, and in years past, they never would have had an opportunity to change, right?
No, they suffer because of an upper management mistake.
Right. And they suffer because some adult made a decision that impacts all of them. That's the problem I have with athletic directors. They don't understand the relationship that these coaches have with these players, right?
Because they're not there with them.
Exactly. Yeah, they're corporate suits. And so they fired their coach, and the whole team entered the transfer portal. Marshall right now does not have a football team. And I think that's outstanding. And I love it, man. I think it's great. I wish more kids would do that. That's why I love NIL. That's why I love the transfer portal, because it gives kids the opportunity. You don't go to college to play for North Carolina. You're going to play for Bill Belichick. You're going to Colorado for Dion. You're going to Mizzou for Drinkwitz. You know, you're choosing your college based on the relationship that you formed with the coach and the bag of money now, but the relationship that you formed with the coach. You're not going there for the school. And so if you fire the coach in all these years past, well, the players just had no choice. They had to just stick it out. And if the next coach came in and didn't like you because he didn't recruit you to that school, then you were kind of SOL.
Right.
And so now this gives these kids the opportunity to say, you fired my coach, screw you, man. I'm out too. And I'm going to go find myself a place where I can play, where I am wanted and I want to be. And so I love the power that the transfer portal has given the student athlete. It's about damn time.
A buddy of mine, Greg, from my first ever radio job and the text line, not actually fired, but they didn't give him an extension and he left. And I believe now he's at Southern Miss.
Okay.
So either way, they might as well have fired him.
Yeah,
you didn't.
Well, that's what it is. Yeah.
And you play well. You create a chemistry within your university, and yet then it's like, well, we need to see more.
Right.
What more do you need to see? We're a winning team, and we're working together. So, I mean, I don't know, man. That's what I'm worried about with Belichick in college. Is like, what are the board members going to do to piss Bill off?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting. So. Speaking of interesting, we get to our guy that has probably the most beautiful and just awesome laugh in Kansas City sports. Nate Taylor joins us now on Fescoe and Dusty.
He's the only man in history to win a race in a hot dog costume and break the news that Chris Jones is back with the Chiefs.
I'll get on that, Coach.
Yeah, all right.
Here's Nate Taylor from The Athletic.
That's right. You hear the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 playlist. You know Nate Taylor, The Athletic, is joining us. Nate Taylor, sir, are you going to suit up and play left tackle on Sunday, or are they going to leave that to Joe Tooney?
No, I am not playing left tackle. No,
That's
don't.
Right. Okay.
Don't put me out there. I mean, it's not a terrible idea. One thing I would love to know, and I think they actually split reps yesterday between Joe Tooney and Wanya Morris at left tackle. But yeah, I'd be interested to see if Joe Tooney's out there. There's a reason why Andy Reid said yesterday, fellas, that like, hey, I have variations, I have combinations, I have many lineups to consider. And I'm like, well, you would only do that if Joe Tooney was a real option. So I don't want to see Joe Tooney against Myles Garrett. I really don't want to see Wanya Morris against Myles Garrett, but somebody's got to play left tackle. So
that's right.
If it comes to that, then it's up to, I really think, Andy Reid and Matt Nagy to not make this game be pretty, to have Patrick roll out, to have him be in shotgun, to have him occasionally be under center, but it's mostly going to be play action. Like, you got to do just about every trick in the book to not be in a traditional drop back situation where it's like, hey, Myles Garrett knows it's a 5-step drop back and he'll get there before I will. Like, no. You've got to mix it up and run the ball. I don't care if you got to run the ball 40 times on Sunday to ensure that your quarterback exits Cleveland healthy.
Yeah.
If that's what you have to do, that's what you have to do. So we'll find out today if DJ Humphries will practice. But I think if you're gonna put Joe Thuney out there, you have to realize that this is not a normal game. So your game plan should not be normal.
If you're Wanye Morris, though, like, how bad do you feel that everybody's talking about changing the entire game plan because you're not good at your job?
It's rough, but this is the reality that we're in, Bob. As I've said before to you guys and to just about anybody, it was nice that Wanye came into the game in the comeback attempts with 3-4 minutes left on the clock. That hey, he wasn't a complete liability. He came in, played well. It's a little different because again, that's late in the game. We all know this pass rushers, they kind of struggle in late game situations because it's tough to rush the passer over and over and over again, with your, 60th, 65th, 70th snap. So, I mean, for Wanye, he's a professional now, and you do the best you can, but you understand that, like, hey, man, you gotta be at your absolute best because it's not just some average guy that I think a lot of Chiefs fans didn't know when the Raiders were just hitting Patrick constantly. This isn't even Khalil Mack or Joey Bosa. Like, this is the guy. It's either him or T.J. Watt, right, between Myles Garrett for probably Defensive Player of the Year. So it's understandable, and I think he's taking every bump along this way pretty well for a second-year player in his career from a psychological and just mental standpoint. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, hey, man, we can't do anything if 15 is not in uniform, if 15 can't operate the offense. So at this point, feelings don't really matter. But I do appreciate the fact that we have two instances now where Wanye Morris came back into the game because Kingsley Suamataia was unplayable and because, DJ Humphrey in his first game tweaked his hamstring. So, hey, be a professional, do the best you can in these fourth quarter situations. And we have two games of evidence where it's like, okay, he was up for that challenge. And those games were victories when the team was behind in each scenario. So you don't want to ever have to put him back out there for those reasons, but at least you do have someone who is, a average player at left tackle who's dealing with an injury, who clearly needs rest, and doesn't need to be out there for all the snaps. But if you need him in a pinch, at least he's shown that he could do that on 2 occasions this season.
We're talking to Nate Taylor, The Athletic, presented by Mark Ferguson. We all make mistakes. Let Mark and his legal team make the best of them. 816-221-1750. Nate, you mentioned something earlier that I kind of led the show with outside of Bill Belichick going back to college, and that is, there's only one way this team doesn't three-peat as of right now, and that's if 15 isn't throwing the football. This is a game where Myles Garrett is, in my opinion, he's the best defensive player in football. You can have that argument with T.J. Watt. I would listen to it, and I'd probably agree with some of the points. But reigning defending Defensive Player of the Year award, Myles Garrett, you said it, run the ball 40 times. That's how you can take a defensive edge rusher out of the game. Why not give the ball to 15 times to Kareem Hunt, which is a kind of a revenge game in some way, shape, or form, and also give the ball to Isaiah Pacheco 15 times because now he's been back for 3 weeks. He should be caught up to speed. That's 30 runs there. No need for Patrick Mahomes to go out there and try to be an MVP because that award's already over.
Correct. Yes. It's time for Andy Reid and Matt Nagy to come to reality because I felt like in last Sunday's game, hey guys, you're up 13-0. Run the ball. Like, we don't have to like make this super duper like, you don't have to change the wheel, guys. I know everybody in the city was probably like shouting expletives when on 3rd and 1 in the third quarter, after the Chargers just scored, hey, they threw a pass. And you're like, come on. Hey, what are we doing? So
there were two occasions of that, Nate, that I was screaming at. One was in the first half, too.
Yeah, I know. Think about it. You know, you have Samaje Perine. You have Carson Steele. Like, it doesn't matter how the game is necessarily going unless you're down 2 scores in the fourth quarter, which would not be ideal, of course. But I just think screens, jet sweeps, run, like, obviously just traditional, hand the ball off. There's no need to make this game any more complicated than it needs to be. And you do need to put some of the burden on Jameis Winston, right? We all know who he is. Like, this team cannot generate turnovers. So if Jameis Winston gets out of this game with 0 interceptions, I will be shocked. But, hey, be the team that makes the least mistakes. Be the team that gives the other team the least amount of opportunities to wreck the game for you. You have Chris Jones, have him generate pressure on Jameis Winston. If the Browns want to throw the ball 30, 40 times, I just think even though you have, this stretch of 3 games with 11 days, there's just got to be a time where you have to realize running the football in this case is probably something that you can actually work on and that you can get better at for the postseason.
Talking with Nate Taylor of The Athletic here on 96.5 The Fan. And you mentioned the 3 games in 11 days, and Mahomes addressed that yesterday. And now it's got my wheels turning a little bit. Like, it's to the point where the face of the league is kind of criticizing 3 games in 11 days. This really is. I mean, this is a negligible situation that you're putting the Chiefs in, and really Houston and Pittsburgh and Baltimore as well. All 4 teams have 3 games in 11 days. And with the Chiefs having the bye week way back in week 6, help me make sense to why the NFL thought this made sense.
There really is no reason as to why it makes sense, guys. There's no argument. And I think it's easy for Patrick to criticize the league for that. He said he had to change his entire training regimen around it. We talked to a couple guys in the locker room about their sleep. Just their lack of sleep, or just the amount of time they're going to have between obviously the game on Saturday against the Houston Texans, which, by the way, last home game of the regular season, in case people are wondering, and also we're going where, when. Christmas?
Yeah.
Huh? It's crazy. So the NFL is greedy. I always think this time of the year, like right when bowl games are starting in college, right when classes are getting close to end of the year finals week, that's basketball season, right? I don't even have to mention what we should all be doing on Christmas. We should be watching LeBron and Steph Curry and Giannis and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. We should be watching basketball. That's what we should be doing. But the NFL is a behemoth, and they are, like a lot of corporations, healthcare, where we got to keep earning more money. We got to keep earning money, even though we've earned all the money.
Right.
So it's a situation where I think it's just got to be something to the effect of, hey, if something really, really bad happens on one of these games, you're kind of putting the season and your postseason and your most marketable time of the year in jeopardy if one of these, all 4 of these teams theoretically should make the playoffs, should make the postseason. These are games that obviously could be rematches, obviously, down the road too. So I just, it's a little concerning when you're like, we have no data points for this. It's not like we're playing these games in Thanksgiving where we have a lot of tradition and it's sort of already, within the schedule. And hey, all of a sudden the Lions, I think people need to realize this too, the Lions go from Thanksgiving Day to the next Thursday. So it's not like they're doing this 3-game truncated, jam-packed scenario as well. It's just I don't agree with it. And it's even hard to game plan, let alone try to perform at the highest level. So guess what? We should probably be watching basketball anyway, because it's not like we're going to get the highest excellence, the best, display of talent. We're at the absolute dog days of the season. I don't think it's going to be a great product, and I won't be shocked from a broadcast standpoint if it doesn't go well via Netflix, or if what you actually see on the field is not representative of what you would normally see on a Sunday.
See, I'm hoping that Detroit beats Buffalo this weekend. Chiefs win their next two, and that game is rendered useless on Christmas Day.
But see, here's the problem, and I had this argument with a couple people yesterday. Netflix was guaranteed Patrick Mahomes. He's got to be out there.
Were they guaranteed Patrick Mahomes, or were they given the Chiefs? And if I'm Andy Reid, you know what I say? I don't care.
True. That's in his prerogative. The league, and I know Andy knows this. Hey, man, we're trying to grow the brand, and I need him out there, But that's
and we're trying to three-peat, and I don't need 3 games in 11 days, and sorry we clinched ahead of time, bite me. Like, that's my comeback.
Hey, I'm all here for it. I'm all here for the drama and the back and forth. I just know that, he is the face of the league. He is on primetime more than anybody else. He's on Christmas. This is why this whole thing exists, right? It's not, by the way, guys, it's not because of Lamar Jackson. It's not because of C.J. Stroud. Hey, the Baltimore Ravens, cool brand. They don't matter. Not in this category. Hey, who can we put the Chiefs up against that's not a divisional opponent? Because God knows we wouldn't do that on a Wednesday. But, who can we put them up? Oh, the Steelers, right? They're on the schedule, right? The Steelers, one of the greatest brands in the NFL's history, right? That's a king in the deck. So we got an ace versus a king, and I get Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, man, we would like him to play. I think Patrick even knows himself that the burden is on him, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones. Hey, man, congratulations, you're 14-1. Get on out there and play.
Yeah, you know what? If I'm Mahomes, all of a sudden I've got the flu.
Yeah.
I'm out. If that game is meaningless, which it very well could be, there is no way that Patrick Mahomes should play that game. Sorry, NFL. This is what happens. You should have scripted it better.
Or just not do it at all, right? Yeah. I mean, look, there's not by the way, I know this is kind of off topic. How are there 22 people involved in this from a talent standpoint?
I know.
How? I don't need to hear Drew. Hey, Drew Brees, stay home with the family, man. It's Christmas. Say with Laura Lutridge. Say with Mina Kimes. We don't have to do this. Kay Adams, thank you.
She can come over to my house, and we have perfect dinner plans. I got whatever she wants.
Yes, I was trying to think about people who I know are married with children, and it's just come on, Drew. Come on, Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Stop it. Same with RG3. Come on. So, again, I understand this. It would be a wonderful time. I could write the column today, right, or next week if the team wins. But, it's so absurd to me that we have so much evidence of, hey, man, TV ratings are good. It's not like this league, I should say, is teetering or hey, we're kind of waffling. We need to find some way to have an in-season tournament, where the courts are all out of whack or whatever. Where I can't even it makes my eyes hurt. Now I sound like an old man. My goodness, but it did make my eyes hurt. I want to watch Steph Curry in a semi-important game. Look at that court. That's all I can think about. So, again, it's the NBA's ratings who need to get better. Help the NBA. Do me a favor, okay? Help the NBA promote its actual, professional athletes. You can do the same thing for NHL, right? The Winter Classic, they used to play on Christmas or New Year's Day, obviously outside. So it's we have other options, man. We don't need this. The ratings are good. The Chiefs have done a masterful job having compelling games on, primetime standalone windows. And guess what, guys? You can run as many ads as you want for the highest price possible. We do not need to siphon these 2 games off for Netflix. No, we already did that with Amazon Prime. So I'm sorry. Thank you guys, I guess, for letting me rant.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just absurd that you would put your most valuable asset from a team standpoint, and that most valuable player on that team from an asset point as well. As you're saying, yes, Bob, trying to go for an unprecedented three-peat in the modern era of the Super Bowl. It's crazy that they're doing this. It's utterly insane. And how they got away with it, I'm not really sure. But I would love to see Ian Eagle or whoever the analyst is try to sell me on the fact that, you know what, in a big game, this is important for Carson Wentz.
Oh, it's going to be glorious. Oh, I'm rooting so hard for that game to have Carson Wentz as the starting quarterback. Because this is, the old story of the Midas golden touch, right? All of a sudden, everything became gold and then you had nothing left and whatnot. That's where the NFL is right now. Like, this could be that Midas touch coming back to bite them.
Can you imagine if something, you always have to mitigate risk, right? Yes, earning a profit is great. It's awesome. We are obviously capitalism. This is America. I get that. We all want to earn more money year over year. Totally normal. But, there's a risk to all these things. There's just an inherent risk. And we don't have to do this, by the way, we don't have to tell Adam Schefter that, hey, guys, there are going to be 2 candy canes attached to the NFL logo for Christmas.
Right.
What are we doing?
I know. And they're going to wear it for 2 weeks.
Yes. What are we doing, guys? How does this equal? This might equal more money, but how does it equal better product or the same product that people have come to love and expect, right? I don't think Coca-Cola is changing anything right now, guys. It's Coca-Cola. You guys don't have to do this. No matter how much money Netflix is willing to pay you, or give Netflix a couple Sunday games, man, or a Monday game. It's fine, but this was absurd. But they also know too that if I tell you Patrick Mahomes is playing on Jupiter at 2:00 on a Tuesday, all right, where is it going to be streamed at? What subscription do I got to get?
Well, Nate, it sounds like you could use a shot of Fireball and a cigarette before you head to Arrowhead Drive. Enjoy the weekend in Cleveland, as hard as that is to do. And we'll talk to you next Thursday.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you, fellas.
Nate Taylor of The Athletic, presented by Mark Ferguson. We all make mistakes. Let Mark and his legal team make the best of them. 816-221-1750. A new documentary is getting ready to hit Netflix on January 7th that has my inner child and Bob's inner child coming back to life. We'll explain what it is on the other side of 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
Fescoe and Dusty. Subscribe and watch the show on YouTube by going to our channel at The Fan 965. Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, as we get ready to roll in that holiday travel season and you're headed to the airport, you got to park at Park and Go because you want to have your car protected from all of the elements while you're gone. And at Park and Go, every spot is a covered spot, so you know that you don't have to worry about your car being covered with snow, sleet, rain, and all of that nonsense when you get back from your trip. And Park and Go makes it so easy to make a reservation to get that covered parking. All you have to do is go to bookparkandgo.com or download their easy-to-use app. And it's so simple to make the reservation and then prepay. When you prepay, you're going to save money and get their lowest rate. When you show up on the day of your flight, just give them that reservation number, and they'll direct you to that covered spot that's been reserved especially for you. As soon as you pull in, the van will meet you and take you right to the airport terminal. When you get back, Park and Go is so awesome. Just grab your bags, walk outside, jump on that bus, and you're on your way right back to the trunk of your car. You never have to wait around for a shuttle at Park and Go. So do what we did and join their frequent parker program and earn points towards free parking. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. The best deals in parking. Bookparkandgo.com. Park and Go, family owned and operated.
This is a special report from the Missouri Lottery. There's still time to get holiday scratchers and draw games for everyone on your shopping list, even if you are the one at the top of said list. Don't worry, we won't tell. The Missouri Lottery. Play responsibly.
What's up, Kansas City? It's Mitchell Schwartz. You know, there's nothing easier to enjoy than watching the Chiefs with some wings and an ice-cold Bud Light. And Buffalo Wild Wings is serving up both for every game, all season long. Join me at the Buffalo Wild Wings located off 105th and Metcalf in Overland Park on Friday, December 13th. I'll be there with the crew from 6 to 8 p.m. celebrating the back-to-back Super Bowl champs while eating some wings and drinking $5 Bud Lights. Nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. For more details, go to 965thefan.com. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Booth Creek Wagyu, KC's premier Wagyu beef meat market, has even more convenient ways for you to shop. In addition to their location at 135th and Metcalf, they're opening soon at 95th and Knoll. Everyone deserves to elevate their beef. Whether you're looking to wow your family with an unforgettable roast this holiday or impress your friends, neighbors, and coworkers, their Wagyu experts are ready to help you pick out something unforgettable. Booth Creek Wagyu, open 7 days a week, or shop online anytime at boothcreekwagyu.com.
'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring except the 2024 Subaru Share the Love event. Subaru will donate $250 to a charity of your choice to help those in need this holiday. These charities include the ASPCA, Make-A-Wish Foundation, Meals on Wheels, and the National Park Foundation. And locally, you can choose the Hillcrest Transitional Housing. Have some fun this holiday and fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Escape to your new coastal seafood paradise. Introducing Aqua Pennies, where the freshest seafood, a full-service raw bar, prime steaks and chops, exquisite handcrafted cocktails, and a one-of-a-kind atmosphere come together in perfect harmony. Aqua Pennies is now open in Park Place, Leawood. Don't miss out. Experience something truly different. Tantalize your taste buds and elevate your evening out. To learn more, go to aquapennies.com.
Coast into Aqua Pennies, now open for lunch.
Are you playing Roofer Roulette? That's when you bet your roof and your home on the first random roofer to ring your doorbell. Why do that when JR & Company offers a free hail and wind report online at jrstormcheck.com?
You can find out what your home is worth in a matter of seconds by a true market expert. Go to homesforsaleandkc.com and click the button, How Much Is Your Home Really Worth? My friend Dawn Sharp and the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty, can help. If you want to skip the showings and open houses and go straight to sold, contact them to discuss their instant offer program. Contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. It's Dawn Sharp and the Sharp Homes team. Google Sharp Homes team or visit them at homesforsaleandkc.com and start packing.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
A Gain Scent Bead story. Jim was at the laundromat when he heard... His ear said, "Maraca, senor," but his nose said, "Hey, freshest scent ever." Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring a bottle of Gain scent beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, "Sir, your scent Maraca smell amazing." Actually, Jim, most noses call them Gain scent beads. Try Gain scent beads, way fresher than detergent alone.
This Chiefs coverage is brought to you by Peter's Clothiers. Men, you need to look great for holiday events. Let Peter's Clothiers give you the perfect fit you're looking for. From jackets to suits to trousers and more, in sizes to fit every man. PetersClothiers.com or stop in today at 124th and State Line.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
670 eastbound, much better heading towards downtown. Now just a bit slow, approaching 35 and crossing over into the downtown loop. On the Kansas side, 35 northbound, you hit slowdowns around 75th Street, stays off again, on again, slow up towards Lamar, and then sluggish approaching Mission with ongoing construction. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Back here on Fescoe and Dusty here on 96.5 The Fan. It's always fun when Netflix gives us that action, right? Like, If Netflix wants Patrick Mahomes, just do season 2 of The Quarterback and just feature Patrick Mahomes.
There you go, done.
That's all everybody wanted to watch anyway, even though we fell in love with Kirk Cousins. Don't even remember what it was about with Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, I just remember him leaving the team, right?
Yeah. Everything else was cool. But Netflix announced that January 7th, they're going to release a new 2-part documentary series, and it's on Jerry Springer Show.
After this, I'm never talking about this show ever again.
Jerry Springer!
I don't think anybody knew how crazy this show was going to be.
I'd like to take this opportunity to apologize for everything I've ever done. I have ruined the culture.
In the beginning of 1992, Jerry Springer was coming to Chicago to launch a talk show.
We were this little band of crazy people just trying to survive the week.
All I had to do was convince him, let's make it wild.
Variety show and a weekly magazine compare the fights to pro wrestling.
Teeth were knocked out.
It really was the modern version of the Roman Coliseum.
Springer's the first talk show host ever to knock Oprah Winfrey off her throne as the queen of daytime talk.
He became a cultural icon.
I want the show to demonstrate outrageousness, yes.
That is the, I guess, 1 minute of the 2-minute promo of the Jerry Springer documentary coming to Netflix. Look, I'll be honest, man. Jerry Springer came out. I was a young kid, kind of right before I was a teenager. It didn't matter. Every day after school, off the bus, chips and salsa, sitting on the floor, Jerry Springer.
Yeah, that was like us in college. We ran home from class to watch Jerry Springer, right? And then followed up with Dukes of Hazzard. But Jerry Springer was the ultimate, we're going to watch this every single day. And I remember, and again, this dates me in years and whatnot, but buying the Too Hot for TV bootleg copy off the street of New York City on VHS for like $10 and then going back to Lawrence with that and going, hey, I got the, and everybody gathered around the TV to watch that Too Hot for TV Jerry Springer copy, you know?
Yeah, because Mac, you know, obviously we do this. We're 3 different generations of age here. You got your mid-20s, your mid-30s, your mid-40s. And, you know, Jerry Springer had come and gone before Mac was even, you know, in front of a TV set.
Jerry may have passed away before Mac was even born.
Yeah. And this is something when we were talking to Mac about this, and he's like, oh, yeah, I never checked it out, but I'll check this out. Right? Like, this is going to be almost like Tiger King for you. Like, the biggest story to me was like, is what I want to see is what time period he took Oprah off the top and for how long was he on the top? Because I know he was a flash in the pan. Like, we'll look back at this and be like, oh, it was only a 3.5-year run. It seemed like it was for a decade.
Yeah, it wasn't as long as you think. It never is, right?
Yeah. So, like, you look at that and you're like, oh, okay, I thought this would be like from 95. Well, it's like he didn't get really popular until about 97. And then from 97 to about 2003 is how long it lasted.
That's about the wheelhouse. Yeah, it is. Because it was like kind of, you know, I think, you know, second year in college or whatever it was like 96, 97. And by the time I kind of had my first job in Texas, it was like 99, 2000. Like, I don't remember moving back to Kansas City in 2001 and thinking to myself, I got to see what's on Jerry Springer right now. But by God, in college, that was a must-watch program. And it made you feel better about yourself, too. All these people wailing on each other. I mean, just the trashiest of trash, right?
Let's bring out Rose. She slept with her brother's cousin's uncle, and she's pregnant. And then Jerry gave you his final thought as if he wanted to have like morale for the Here's my final thought. Go do nice things for people. You never know.
No, that was Jerry trying to feel better about himself because he knew what he was rolling out there was
sold his soul.
Yeah. Good for him, though.
But I mean, he changed everything.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know videos are out there of like people getting assassinated and shot right now. That's something that's happened.
Right.
Like on your phone. We're numb to that. Jerry Springer kind of started that wave of feeling numb to the chaotic craziness that you may see, right? Like, it's just, you watch Jerry Springer, like, oh, yeah, I've seen this before. Or people our age, right? There'll be something like, this feels like a Jerry Springer episode. You're like, oh, really? You're like, yeah, I get that reference.
Right.
After this documentary, people like Mac that didn't grow up with the show will be like, makes sense. Because, like, when I watched Tiger King, I was like, this dude should be on Jerry Springer. This guy married 2 different dudes at the same time and made a country song that he didn't sing. Plus, he's with tigers. Plus, he wants to murder somebody. I'm like, where's Jerry Springer when you need him?
Right. That was a Jerry Springer type moment. And you're right. We do use that term a lot in our lexicon, right? That's a Jerry Springer moment. Oh, this should have been on Springer. And like he's become a a commonplace in everybody's vernacular now, because you see stuff all the time. You go, that'd be on Springer, and it
absolutely.
And the fact that it wasn't that long shows you the impact that this show truly had, because who didn't want to watch somebody hit somebody else with a chair over the head, and then Steve Wilkos get involved? You talk about spinoffs, the Steve Wilkos show, not necessarily a great spinoff, but the whole Jerry Springer effect on things was magical when you were watching it on TV. You just couldn't wait for somebody to come flying out from backstage and beat somebody with a chair.
Always. That's how you got You're Not the Father. That's how you got all these other shows, because they knew that sort of appeal was what people wanted to watch.
Is anybody doing that anymore, though?
You're Not the Father?
No, like the whole Jerry Springer type show. Like, do those things exist anymore?
No, I don't think so.
Practical Jokers, but that's not even near the same.
Oh, God,
no, I know, but that's
like,
all they have.
Let's put a balloon on his back and see if he notices it at the grocery store.
Why are you talking like that guy from our news station?
That guy sucks. Coming up on the other side, betting is the new trend, and that's why people are using it against the Chiefs. I don't understand. 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty.
I just want to say how awesome it is to have Bob Fescoe and Legend Likens on every morning to start my day. I freaking love you guys.
On your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5 The Fan.
I'll tell you what, the new year's getting ready to start, and you want to be able to do what you love, right? You want to get out there and walk and play golf and do all those things that you love doing, and you also don't want to go to bed every night feeling pain, right? So you got the opportunity now to do something to help yourself, and that's calling my friends over at QC Kinetics. Say goodbye to shoulder and back pain, because at QC Kinetics, local medical professionals are waiting for you. Their advanced protocols in regenerative medicine have helped tens of thousands of people, and we're talking about lasting relief. Imagine a new year without those achy joints and no more pain pills or steroid shots. QC Kinetics uses the healing properties of your own body to attack the root cause of your pain, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. It's the future of medicine. So if you've been told surgery is your best or only option, you deserve a second opinion. Find out if all natural regenerative medicine is right for you. Call QC Kinetics now. They're accepting appointments on Saturdays. They have free consultations, and you can use HSA and FSA dollars as well. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. 816-412-6299.
It's football time at BetMGM. Use code KOSTOS, KOSTOS, and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, original bets, and the best daily promotions in the business. Use code KOSTOS, KOSTOS, and get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older. New customer offer. This U.S. promotional offer not available in Mississippi, New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, call 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, call 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, call 1-800-981-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
MD Anderson Cancer Center is again ranked #1 in the nation for cancer care by U.S. News & World Report's Best Hospitals rankings. Our physicians treat more types of cancers in a day than many see in their whole career. This unmatched depth of expertise, combined with our groundbreaking discoveries, gives our patients access to the most innovative treatment options. Learn more at mdanderson.org.
The holidays are happening at Diamonds Direct. Still rushing to finish your holiday shopping? Don't worry, we've got you covered. This weekend only, it's our last chance sale with 20% off virtually everything. Earrings, bracelets, pendants, and more. Plus special financing options up to 5 years. But don't wait, this is your final opportunity to find the perfect gift at the best value before the holidays. Plus special designer appearances. Visit us during extended holiday hours or shop online and pick up in store. Our 20% off last chance sale ends Sunday. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com.
I'm Tiffany, founder of Harlem Pilates. When I couldn't find Pilates in my neighborhood, I started a studio from my studio apartment. Chase Inc. helped me grow from 1 Pilates studio to 3. Because when you start small, you're going to need some big help.
the Chase Ink Business Cash Card, you can earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
This report is brought to you by waysidewaifs.org. Save a life this holiday season. Wayside Waifs has rescued pets from puppy mills, hoarding situations, and found them abandoned on the streets. Give these homeless animals a second chance. Make miracles happen. Donate today, and your gift will be matched. Visit waysidewaifs.org.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side 71 northbound, slow rolling past 87th. Stays heavy up past 75th Street, where there's a stalled off to the shoulder. Folks are avoiding that right lane. Heading 435 westbound, sluggish from Holmes to the state line. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
We got a new function on the Odyssey app.
Did you guys know that this is a thing? I can send you messages from the Odyssey app. Kind of crazy.
KFNZ FM and AM HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Right back here on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports. Thanks for joining us. Thought this was funny because I believe, like Mac, you know how Bob always tells us nobody cares about our fantasy team? We hear it probably once a week. I kid. But it is that.
But it's true.
But it's true.
Oh, very true.
It's the same way as like nobody cares about your bets.
That's right.
Unless
your golf game.
No, yeah, easy.
Your softball game. Like, all that stuff. Nobody cares.
Right.
You know?
But the thing about, and I bring this up because I thought we had audio for this, but there was a guy on Pat McAfee's show, I forget who it was, basically saying that people are pissed at the Chiefs because they're 0-7 against the spread in their last 7 games.
So?
Right. So the reason why I think people like to use that as a crutch to why they're upset about it is because that's the new way of football. That's the new way of sports. It's betting. We obviously just saw the bet passed by like the skin of our teeth in Missouri for, you know, the legalization of sports gambling in, you know, that state. And I think what's interesting about this is that that's where fantasy football was, right? Like there was a time 20 years ago where fantasy football, you were scratching and clawing just to get 10 people in a league, and you played on Yahoo. There wasn't an app for it. And then all of a sudden, full point PPR came in, and people could score more points, and it was more attractive, so people did it. And people started getting mad at players in the league because they didn't give them fantasy points, right?
Unbelievable.
Like we see this when teams can clinch a game by just sliding in bounds, and guys would slide at like the 1 yard line, like, no, I needed that. Now you're seeing that with betting, right? You have prop bets, you have game bets, you have parlays, all this stuff. And by God, the Chiefs are just really frustrated because they're 0-7 against the spread. Then bet the money line. They're 7-0 against it.
Yeah, thank you for listening to the show, Adam. I will say this: I do disagree a little bit. Mahomes is better than John Elway.
Oh yeah.
So don't say it's almost like John. No, it's better than John Elway. He's doing it on a bigger stage in a game that is bigger now than it was back then in a game where it's much harder to win than when Elway played against guys that were working at the lumber yard in the offseason. So, let's not say it's almost no, it's better than John Elway, and John would admit that as well. He presented the gentleman with a Super Bowl trophy last year. Patrick Mahomes never presented Elway with squat. So I don't want to hear that it's almost like Elway. It's better than John Elway. But Schefter clearly listening to what we've had to say, because that's where I am. I'm over the, like, this is like, if you can't beat them, join them almost is like the next thing that's going to happen right now. Because now we're complaining about the Chiefs in a way that makes utterly zero sense on the national level. Well, they're 0-7 against the spread. Yeah, but they're 12-1. They're 12-1.
So bet the other team.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not betting for the Chiefs to lose. You're just betting for the team to cover.
Or just bet the money line that the Chiefs are going to win.
Which there's not a lot of money there, but that's not for me to.
But that's not my problem.
But if you're confident in it, you put a lot of money on it.
Who's that guy that put $3 million on the Eagles last week to win 440, right?
Yeah.
And so you do something like that. Like if this is bothering you, again, this is the planting of the flag in Ohio Stadium. This is changing rules because you didn't have a chance and it's not fair. Like, enough of the fairness in life, man. Life is what you make it. And if you're going to continue to play stupid bets on the Chiefs, then you deserve to lose all of that money. It's why, for me right now, yesterday, and I want to get the exact time this happened, yesterday at 4:05 p.m., I became a Jalen Hurts fan because this was tweeted out by 97.5 The Fanatic in Philadelphia. When did winning not become the main thing? Jalen Hurts. And that right there is a guy that I absolutely look at and say, now I'm rooting for you. Because Jalen Hurts right there said what is obvious. When did winning not become the main thing? And go back to Josh Allen on Sunday. Praising this guy, you lost. Praising Joe Burrow this year, you're 4-12. Talking about 0-7 against the spread and all that kind of stuff. When did sports get this way, man? And I know I'm a little bit older and I'm a different generation, but the last I checked, you get seeded in the postseason, you make the playoffs based on your won-and-loss record. Guys get hired and fired based on their won-and-loss record, but yet so many people want to make sports about everything but the final result on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, the Chiefs are 4-point favorites in this game on the road to Cleveland. So if you want to, buck the trend, you would take the Chiefs -4. But if you want to keep going with it, you would take, obviously, Cleveland +4. I think to answer a little bit of your question of, like, where did this start to matter? One is the availability of technology. So, like, now you have the way of doing it. Plus is the evolution of the game. You obviously are one of those guys that doesn't really care about DVOA. You don't care about, what a guy's yak is or what he's averaging in cold weather games. But that's where the game got, because once something is so great, you want to try to find the next big thing that is like something where people go, oh, that's okay. That's cool. And baseball did that. And unfortunately, it kind of hurt baseball. Like, you're the kind of guy that's like, when I grew up, you were trying to hit 300, home runs weren't that, meaningful. You had your guy on your team that hit them. And RBI was a big stat. Now people look, you can go, what's batting average? I look at slug, OPB, whip, FIP, SIP, all that sort of stuff.
I heard somebody yesterday talking about, range percentage of an infielder, and I'm like,
which you should look at Bobby Witt Jr.'s because it's insane. Like, his range is great.
But I don't need to look at a number to know that these guys are good.
Fair point. And I think that's where people take this, because you add this entire conversation and you're answering your own question. Betting, fantasy, and stats, in your opinion, has ruined football to a degree, where it's like, well, yeah, but Josh Allen had 6 touchdowns. He scored 51 fantasy points. Like, when's the last time you've seen, outside of Josh Allen, in my opinion, this is the last time I've seen it, the only time I've really seen it, where...
I love the gambling aspect, but I know it's like for entertainment purposes.
But like, Josh Allen lost that game. If Mahomes lost that game, it'd be like, well, I guess he can't do it all himself.
Right.
That wasn't the case with Josh Allen. The first thing I saw after that game was that, A, the MVP award was over, and 2, Josh Allen put up 51 point whatever fantasy points, the most since 1950.
Right.
First off, kiss my ass. I don't know who was doing fantasy football. I know there were people doing fantasy football in 1950. My dad told me the stories of some guy would get the newspaper and he'd find the stats and point it up and then send out a call, doing whatever. But again, like, that's where that sort of game
Could you
went.
imagine doing fantasy football without the internet?
I mean,
and waiting for the newspaper. What if it was a late game and they didn't publish your stats?
Well, I think back then it was so simplistic. It was like, did he score a touchdown? Did he throw a touchdown? Did he run for 50 yards or 100 yards or whatever it might have been? But yeah, I think that semantics kind of give it more of a, whatever for the game. And people are like, yeah, he had a really good game. But man, like he was hitting from, look at next gen stats, right? Like after every game that Mahomes plays or a quarterback plays, you see the exact spray chart and the routes that he went out. Like only 8 of his passes went past the line of scrimmage. 7 of them went behind the line of scrimmage. That's called a screen pass or a bubble screen or whatever it may be, or a shovel pass. Like that doesn't describe what the game is, but there are so many people today that dive into the statistics, that dive into the gambling, that dive into the fantasy land, and it's now flooded because you've got generation after generation after generation with the NFL being so popular for the last, 30 years? That now it's like somebody who was 5 in 1994 is now, my age in 2024. And
maybe this is why Belichick walked away from the NFL.
Could be.
There's a story on ESPN.
Yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it before we get to the Goldilocks on the other side here on Fescoe and Dusty. It's Thursday. Breathe. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, my friends over at Smokehouse Barbecue are ready to cater your holiday party. That's right. We got Christmas. We've got New Year's. You got holiday break coming up for a lot of people. You're going to have family and friends in town. And the last thing you want to do is stand around the kitchen cooking, right? You want to have the meal ready to go so you can visit with your guests. And Smokehouse Barbecue can put together the best spread for you this holiday season. Burnt ends, baby back ribs, pulled pork, brisket, all the great stuff that Smokehouse Barbecue has to offer in your home. And if people are coming in from out of town, you know they're going to want barbecue, so let Smokehouse take care of everything for you. And if you are going to be somebody that is doing a little cooking this holiday season, how about let Smokehouse Barbecue cater your side dishes? Their hickory pit beans, their white cheddar mac and cheese, topped with the burnt ends. And what I love when I dine in at Smokehouse Barbecue is their barbecue pizza. It is flatbread, it is cheese, it is sliced sausage, it's crispy meat, it's burnt ends, it's delicious. And you got to try one today. Plus, with their new Sweet Zing wing sauce out there right now, Smokehouse Barbecue has a flavor of wings that everybody's going to love. You can check them out in Independence, Gladstone, and Zona Rosa, or at SmokehouseBBQ.com. That's SmokehouseBBQ.com. For over 35 years, locally owned and family operated, it's Smokehouse Barbecue.
Men, we hear it all the time. A man comes in to get his erectile dysfunction treated, and very soon thereafter, he tells us that his relationship is renewed. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and you should know that ED doesn't just affect you, it also often affects your partner. They can feel undesired, unwanted, they may even feel like you don't love them anymore. At Heartland Men's Health, we've successfully treated thousands of men for ED with protocols that have success rates well over 90%, which means if you're like most men, we can get you back to the guy you used to be. You could even last up to an hour or more and find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and give your partner the gift of renewed love. Your first visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in our office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. That's heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Hey guys, it's Dusty Likens, and I want to talk to you about my new friends at GiveMeTheVin.com. They are a company that works best for you, and it's easy, no stress, no problem. Look, you've got that old car that you wanted to fix up, make a project, but then you've run out of time. You need to make some money for the holiday season. Go to GiveMeTheVin.com. They will literally buy your car. You can say goodbye to dealing with the dealerships and private sale tire kickers and get a true buy offer for your car. GiveMeTheVin.com puts your car right on the money, providing you with a hassle-free online option to sell your car for more. It's simple as going to GiveMeTheVin.com, entering your car's VIN number or license plate number. You'll get an offer on your car within minutes that is always well above any dealer quote and is guaranteed to beat your written CarMax offer, or they'll send you a check for $100. It's literally so easy, you can do it in your underwear. Literally, it's that easy. You like being comfortable and making easy money? Then go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
It's winter clearance time at Volkswagen Lease Summit. Get up to $5,000 off the 24 Jetta, 24 Taos, and 24 Tiguan, and up to $8,000 off the 24 Atlas and Atlas Crossport. Hurry in before we sell out of 24s. Visit VWLeaseSummit.com.
Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
I'm Brian Tedesco, CEO of Blaupunk Americas.
the pioneers of the car stereo. Today, we're not just about sound systems. We are revolutionizing the e-bike scene with Blue Dot Bike. Thanks to AmericanEagle.com, our online presence now features a dynamic e-commerce website that showcases the quality and affordability of our foldable e-bikes. And our collegiate e-bikes, just perfect for the college fanatic. These e-bikes offer a new way to experience freedom on two wheels, no matter your age. When we needed a top-notch website to match our cutting-edge e-bikes, we turned to AmericanEagle.com. They made the impossible seem easy, tackling digital challenges like pros. Check out the Blue Dot Bike website to see AmericanEagle.com's amazing work in action. Need the best in website and digital marketing solutions? AmericanEagle.com is your go-to. They've been a game changer for us, and they can be for you too. Visit AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW-1. That's 877-WEB-NOW-1.
Football season is in full swing, and you can take full advantage by winning some cash with Sleeper Picks. Sleeper Picks is a fantasy game, but you could win real money. Just pick more or less than at least two of your favorite player stats. If you're right, you could win. You can pick up to 8 players to win up to 100 times your money. For a limited time, Sleeper has a special offer. New users have to play $5, and they'll receive $55 in free bonus entries. That's right. If you deposit $25 and play $5, they'll give you 11 $5 bonus entries to start playing. So download the Sleeper app now and use promo code BLOCK and get in on this promo before time runs out. What are you waiting for? Download Sleeper today and unlock one of the fastest-growing fantasy sports apps in the world. Use code BLOCK to claim the play $5, get $55 bonus entry offer. That's code BLOCK. Must be at least 18 years old in most states and present in state where it is legal to wager. Promo code location, other restrictions apply. Minimum deposit $25. See terms of use for details at sleeper.com. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help. Sponsored by Sleeper, a Blitz product.
Okay, so that's with bacon, cheese, lettuce, tomato, grilled onions, ketchup, and hold the pickles.
You know what you like. You wouldn't order your burger just any way. Why should your sports talk be any different? With Chapters on the free Odyssey app, you can choose the topics that matter to you most. Whether it's reactions, matchup previews, injury updates, or team news, quickly find what you really care about. Your football talk, your way. Download the free Odyssey app and start listening today.
Today, expect mostly sunny skies with a high of 35.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Your local Staples store has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. Save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Welcome back to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. It's time for Golden Locks with Alex Gold.
Gotta figure out how to make money on this thing. It's simply too good.
All right, here we go. It is 96.5 The Fan. We got Alex Gold, Bob Fescoe, Mac Morey, Dusty Likens. We just poo-pooed on gambling, and yet now we do a gambling segment. No,
what are you guys doing?
I like it. Like I don't like the fact that people are now to the stage of we can't criticize anything about the Chiefs, so let's say they're 0-7 against the spread and run them down for that.
Gotcha.
Right? Like in the grand scheme of what we're trying to accomplish here, 3 in a row, it's irrelevant. And then Jalen Hurts said yesterday, I always thought it was about winning games. And I said to Dusty as I was walking out to go to break, I said the 11-2 Eagles and the 12-1 Chiefs are the most criticized teams in the NFL.
Crazy. Yeah, they are. It is nuts. I mean, you get to a point where would it just be better if they were 9-4 for some people?
No, because we did that last year.
Well,
and they were
like,
broken.
Right,
and they were dead.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the Chiefs thing and how people view them. But it's so bizarre. Like if they were 9-4, but 2 of their wins they won by 30. Like, well, they're a better team because they won by 30. And it's like, what?
But they lost to Buffalo.
All that matters is winning. Now we are talking betting in this case, so we're trying to cover the spread in this case. But from a bigger picture, I'm with you.
And I told him I think the problem that why we have this scrutinizational system in sports today is because of gambling and fantasy. Like
no
there's
doubt,
just more semantics where it's
all start with fantasy football.
Of course, yeah. That's what I told him. I was like, it started in 10 years ago when PPR full point came in and guys were diving at the 1 yard line to run the clock out. And it's like, I had Maurice Jones-Drew. I need a touchdown for my fantasy team, and now I lost. Thanks. But it's like they don't care.
I guess I've always just been able to separate the two. When I was doing fantasy football, I didn't really care all that much, right? And I always look at myself and I go, you know what? If the Chiefs win but my bet lose, I'm good with that. I'm fine with that. I don't have a problem with that. Like I don't. I don't get worked up over because I know at the end of the day I've got no control over what's going to happen out there. But like people who are tweeting at players and whatnot,
that's crazy stuff
for costing them their fantasy stuff. That's ridiculous.
It is. I think the fantasy football too. When your team like your real life team stinks, fantasy football is all some people have, and so they like that's
that's fair.
You know what I mean? Like, and when your team stinks and your fantasy team stinks, you bet.
Yeah. No, but I'm sitting again. We're so different here than everybody else because we're on top of this freaking mountain, literally looking down at all the peasants down there going, well, we're 12-1 and about ready to do a three-peat here in Kansas City, right? Or, attempt for the three-peat, as they like to say. But, if you're a fan of, like, the Saints, I texted Dusty yesterday, you're battling between Desmond Ridder and some other...
Hainer and Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, I mean, like two guys that have never been in my kitchen. I'm like, I don't know who these people are. How do you get yourself to watch this stuff, right? So I understand where fantasy does fill that need.
Totally.
But I'm not in a fantasy world. I'm in real life, and the real life is really, really good right now.
It is. Now, with all that said, though, I'll tell you, I think the against the spread losing streak does end finally on Sunday for Kansas City.
Oh, you think they cover in a big way?
I think they cover. So they're 4.5-point favorites right now at FanDuel against the Browns. The total sits at 44.5, and everybody does know this against the spread trend. They've lost 7 straight against the spread. That's the longest stretch for Andy Reid's career. It's the longest. I think ties the longest for Patrick Mahomes. That's all true. The reason why I feel differently and why they're covering this week, and last week I didn't like them to cover.
You sure about that?
I'm pretty sure, Dusty. I'm pretty sure about it, and here's why. The Browns, we've overinflated. We're like, well, they're in every game now, and Jameis Winston has made them so much better. In the first half or so, and like when it's more entertaining to watch because Jameis is fun.
Yeah.
But go through their last couple of games. Like they've lost by 9 or more, I think, with the exception of one win against Pittsburgh 3 weeks ago on a random Thursday night when it was snowing and all this kind of stuff was going on. They also, with Jameis Winston, only cover twice in the last 9 games with Jameis as a starter, period, in the NFL. Something's got to give this week, guys. Like, the Chiefs don't turn the ball over or don't force turnovers. And on the flip side, we know this is Jameis who has thrown 5 picks in the last 2 weeks, including a pair of pick sixes. So I do think there's something here that's going to give. And why am I going to side with the crappier team, which is obviously Cleveland?
Yeah.
So I think the Chiefs cover the 4.5, and finally this little ATS losing streak is over.
And what will then people, how will they run down the Chiefs then?
There'll be something.
They'll play good on Wednesdays, and they got that. They've never won on Wednesday before.
So let's talk about that Chiefs game for a little bit before we get into Thursday Night Football. Because I can't bet any other running back or running prop except for Kyron Williams and Brock Purdy. No Debo, no nothing. No rookie, nothing. Anyways, I guess I said, I think this is a big running back game. Is this where you kind of lean on where you would handcuff both? Because I think I'm dead serious, Gold. I think they each get 15 carries.
So last week, I loved Pacheco, and unfortunately, it didn't pan out, right? I thought he was going to score a touchdown. I thought he was going to have 70-plus. I think he had 14 carries for like 55 yards or something like that. So it didn't happen. So I'm a little hesitant because I think no matter how much I want it to happen, Andy Reid can't help himself. Like, even though going into the game, the first scripted 15, they ran the ball 8 times or something. Like, I think going into the game, they knew they needed to run the ball.
And they did.
And they did on the scripted plays. And then we all know they got away from it. I think they ran once or twice in the entire third quarter. They didn't score a single point in the third quarter. So I'm just hesitant. Like, are they actually willing to do it? I think they should be running the ball more. And I think Pacheco can be effective. I don't trust it. I think we've seen time and time again that they aren't willing to commit to it enough for me to actually bet it anymore.
But I think this week is different, and here's why. Who the F is playing left tackle? Are you going to go back to Wanye, or are you going to move Tooney outside?
But I would have said, I would have said it though last week too.
But you had DJ Humphries. He had played a year. He was fresh. He was ready to go. Let's see.
Myles Garrett wasn't on the field.
Wasn't on the field. Now that's an excellent point. But you wanted to see what you had in DJ Humphries. You had to see, can this guy be what we were lacking? He was very mid at best, and obviously hadn't played in a year. I don't know what we were all expecting, just be better than Wanye. But now you're either going with Wanye Morris or with Joe Tooney at your left tackle position, okay? And earlier in the week, I was, talking to some folks around the league. They're like, they don't know what they're going to do quite yet at left tackle. So, and they're not going to probably announce this to the group, right? Nor should they. So I think because of such uncertainty at left tackle, and to piggyback on Dusty, Myles Garrett as well, this just screams try to run the football.
I hope so. They have looked we talked about this last week. They've looked their best when either they're running the ball, when they're in like a tempo, hurry up kind of drill, 2-minute, 4-minute drill, or when they're getting the ball to D-Hop, whether he's actually catching it or he's just drawing a PI, even though he didn't get it last week. Should have been a holding call.
Got it.
So that's when they've been their best. So I hope you're right, and it makes total sense. I thought last week was that week as well, so I'm a little gun shy, I guess, to bet that. Now on FanDuel right now, there's no rushing props yet. Those will come out a little bit later on today, I think. So I don't even know what if the number's low enough. Sure, I think last week the number was at one point only 47.5. If it's in the 40s again for Pacheco, I'll fire on it.
Just for Pacheco, I thought you meant overall total running yards. I'm like, hit the over on that.
Well, yeah. No, just for Pacheco, I think Hunt was 38.5, and Pacheco was 40-something. So I'll be curious what the numbers at there.
Pacheco on DraftKings right now is 56.5.
Okay.
None for Kareem
55
Hunt.
last week. So
rush attempts, none. Just for Jameis Winston, 2.5. There's no
curious
rush
what the
attempts.
attempt number comes out to be.
Probably like 13.5. I would
Probably
assume
about
probably
right.
somewhere in
Yeah,
that
15
juicy
last
spot.
week,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then you're trying to say, does he do more? According to the text line, though, they do believe that it's supposed to be rainy in Cleveland on Sunday. I don't know weather yet. It's too far out for me to look into that sort of detail.
I mean, the weather changes every day.
Right.
Like, it's supposed to rain on Friday. Now it's going to rain on Saturday. Then it was going to rain on Saturday. So,
I mean,
we'll know
but
when we
again, if
get
that
there,
is the
right?
case, then please run the ball.
Well, yeah.
Because Mahomes has been hit way too much.
Yes.
He's been taken down the ground. Even if they're not, and he's been obviously sacked the most he's been in this entire season, which is, I believe he's at 35.
It's supposed to be, this claims 8 degrees, breeze with rain at times. Yeah.
8? Like as in the number?
Yeah, 8. Single digits. Very
Screw
cold.
that, dude.
It's -2 tomorrow in Cleveland. -4 today in Cleveland.
They got that
I'm
Arctic
sorry,
blast.
that's a real temperature you're reading
According
right
to
there?
this is AccuWeather.com, -7 right now. Real feel in Cleveland, -20.
And Sunday it's going to be a high of 8.
That's what it's.
That means it's
Oh,
going to
Kling, put on some clothes.
Yeah. Oh,
Holy smokes.
Miserable.
So you in this game, you're on the fence with liking Isaiah Pacheco with the yards?
Yeah, some of it, admittedly, is I got burned last week.
56.5 is what it is this week. So
yeah. I mean, that should be an attainable number because if they're willing to run the football, I think he can easily get that. I mean, he was 1 yard off of that last week and got 14 carries, but the 14 carries is misleading in my opinion from a week ago because he got 4 in the first. They ran the ball 3 straight plays to start the game, and so out of the 14 he had, I mean
he hung a 3.9 average, which is fine with me. Like 4 is like
that's
perfect.
good.
Yeah, I was saying, I'm great with
they
that.
had the 3rd and 1 and they passed.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the stuff we've always talked about.
I mean, you go 3.6, you're getting a first down every 3 plays.
I'm good with it. Yeah. So I don't know, man. That's a tough one to. I don't know what I do in that.
But I like
game.
the Chiefs to cover. I think
like
this is the
any
week
time-
the streak is over finally.
Okay.
Kling just texted me and says, WTF, the forecast said 48 last week.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Things have changed, Kling.
Sorry, Josh. Put your pants on, buddy, and get that Vaseline and lube up your chest. Oh, wait. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Was that out loud?
Obviously, I think we give an anytime Travis Kelce touchdown this week because he's back home, and if he gets another touchdown, it sets the record.
It would fit.
They think
It'd be-
about that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it'd be fitting considering, and Taylor's concert tour is over, so I wonder if she's back home with him in Cleveland
Home's
as well.
here, though. Home is where you hang your heart.
Home is where you make it, huh? No. Home where you make it.
I bet she'll be there on Sunday.
Who the hell wants to go to Cleveland?
It's his hometown.
Who cares?
No, but has she been back to his hometown before?
Doesn't matter.
It's like
That's
the
not
Badgers'
like
hometown dates, Bob. It's time.
I know,
you
but they're not doing
I know,
anything.
right.
Like it's not.
It's Cleveland, Ohio.
Right.
I got you.
And if she doesn't show up, the tabloids will say, "I can't believe Taylor Swift didn't go to Kelsey's hometown for the game."
I mean,
What's
if I'm
wrong?
her, I'm not going. We just said what the weather's going to be as well. I'm good. Stay away.
If I'm anybody, it's Cleveland.
Somebody said you were looking at Celsius. It says here Sunday.
All I do is why would my AccuWeather be
I
showing
don't know.
Celsius?
This says Sunday
Maybe it was.
42 and rain.
Okay,
But it says right now 19 degrees in Cleveland.
Alex is just making up.
I mean, I'll
things.
show you the
you have a
page.
future and forecast.
I mean,
It's
we don't
blank.
In fairness, it does say Celsius now, but I just Googled and there you
Fair
go.
enough.
So
What, you
Clink,
got your
you're
computer
good.
set to
Clink, you're
Canada?
They think
So-
I'm in Canada or
So
something.
take your pants off and
Clink,
unload
you're good.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah,
False
Kling is like,
alarm.
thank God.
False alarm.
He's running over to like Menards right now to buy all the heat packs he could find.
Why would the first thing on AccuWeather pull up Celsius?
Because it's simply not good.
Because they're trying to screw you.
Okay. Anyway,
Let's move into tonight. This is in San Francisco. The Rams are 3-point dogs. You like +3 for the Rams? Rams tonight?
So I'm just a big believer in the Rams to begin with throughout the year. They're healthy.
Even short week, Thursday travel, doesn't matter this week.
Not for me. I also
Who are they playing?
They're playing the 49ers.
I know. Like, who's on the team?
Yeah.
Who's on
look,
Feist?
it's still Kyle Shanahan, and historically, McVay it doesn't have the best record against Kyle Shanahan.
He just beat him
Usually,
for the first time, like a year ago?
yeah, it's been
Crazy.
favoring Shanahan in this matchup. I just think the Rams, when they're healthy, it's not even just what they did against Buffalo, which was put up 44 points and look great. When Stafford has a healthy O-line and when Puka's healthy, who had 17 touches last week and went off, so did Cooper Kupp, then they look like one of the better teams in all of football, and I think that continues. It's why one of my favorite futures bets is them to still win the NFC West. They get the Niners tonight. They still have a head-to-head game against Seattle and Arizona down the stretch. I think the last week of the year, Rams-Seahawks will be the game that gets flexed to Sunday night to decide the NFC West. The Rams are plus 160 to win the West right now. To me, it's my favorite outstanding divisional bet that exists, and so part of that equation involves them winning tonight against the 49ers. I just think their offense, when Sean McVay has a healthy group, they're one of the best offenses in football.
Yeah.
I also like the over tonight because I do think the Rams defense stinks.
Yeah,
So,
they stink out loud.
What do you have the over at?
what do we have at last night? 49.5.
49.5. Do you like over?
I do.
I mean,
I think we'll have two
Buffalo
Thursdays.
almost did it by themselves.
I think both teams are going to score tonight. Yeah,
Okay.
I think the Rams defense is vulnerable, and while the Niners are banged up, I mean they still have Kittle. I know Debo's been upset about his role, but
Which
that
means
also
he balls
it
tonight,
feels
right?
like he also
Which is
gonna
why
have
I think like Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown are
Yeah,
huge
you
on
take that
Sunday.
theory into A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts, then you had to take the same theory into Debo because he
Maybe?
tweets out like, I've been productive, and then everybody in the Twitter world came after and was like, actually, no, you haven't. Like, here's statistics to prove it.
That Pittsburgh Eagle game, I know you want to get to that one, but do you care? And from a betting standpoint, I don't know. Stats tell you what has happened, not what will happen.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh hasn't won in Philadelphia since 1968.
Is that legit?
Yeah, I saw that yesterday.
But there's also Mike Tomlin as a dog, man. How many times have we been doing this segment whenever Mike Tomlin's an underdog? And it's almost an automatic fire. I mean, I think he covers at a ridiculous clip. I had it last night. I don't have it in front of me, unfortunately. The number in particular. It is way above average. It's something like 65-70% of the time Tomlin as a dog covers, and they're 5.5 point underdogs this weekend against Philly. It's hard not to take the Steelers in that spot. I don't know if they win the game, but just this is usually a spot where Tomlin's just better than everybody else. That this is one of those trends that has more than like a 5 or 6 game sample size. And you know the Philadelphia stuff this week. I mean that does scare me a little bit with the narrative that's out there now because of Brandon Graham and his comments. Like that's not he didn't make that up. I know he's backtracked and said, "Oh, I didn't understand." That's clearly a real thing that's going on with A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. And like that's the kind of stuff that people should be talking about. It actually has a real impact on their chances to win a Super Bowl. Not because the Chiefs are only winning by 3 points or 2 points in games. You know what we don't hear? We know this team is together. We don't hear about infighting or anything like that with this football team right now.
That's right. Yeah, we kind of talked about that yesterday. I mean, that's the difference between having a leader like Andy Reid and not leader like Nick Sirianni. I don't know that he's a leader of that team, right? But Andy Reid is the leader, and guys respect their leader, and they're not going to let stuff like that happen. And we're very fortunate that Mahomes and Kelsey are the best of friends, too.
Yeah. No, I think that's part of the equation.
Like, I got to be honest, it's probably part of the reason why Tyreek Hill was expendable as well. You know, like if you're going to complain about, not that he was, but we've seen every wide receiver in America complain about their role this year. So they moved on from Tyreek Hill and saved themselves some money and maybe some headache as well, and have done nothing but win since. What are the odds on Mark Gastineau versus Brett Favre? Are there odds on that fight yet?
Yeah, I think there's odds of ripping off the public. I think the odds on that I bet pretty favorably. I think it's like minus 1,000 that somebody will get ripped off by Brett Favre.
Yeah, I would pay to see Gastineau and Favre in a ring though, like Tyson and Jake Paul.
If he really does have like,
I think Gastineau's got some.
Gastineau's a jerk.
Oh, I'm sure he is, but he's also clearly got some
him, like,
CTEs or something going on there.
Let him go be a jerk and silence.
You guys, I'm sure, saw T.O.'s response to Brett Favre saying it's time to clear the air.
Actually, the best response was Boomer Esiason yesterday. He called Mark Gastineau a cheap shotting son of a bleep. And didn't say bleep, said it. Yeah, and called him out. He goes, we were playing the Jets one time. My friends were in a hotel, the Westin Hotel elevator lobby with some of his friends, and they said he's going to come after me and try to hurt me in this game today. And so, like Boomer Esiason, nobody likes Mark Gastineau. He's trash. He
Luckily,
really is.
Tammy didn't allow that to happen.
Yeah, no kidding. Right?
Of course, it was at the Westin.
Dude. So we're putting a gold parlay together for tonight. You like the over 49.5. You like the Rams +3. I look at prop bets with the 2 wide receivers you mentioned. Puka Nacua, 7.5 is his receptions. 90.5 is his yardage. I like Cooper. He's at 6.5, still a big number, but 64.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, so the only concern with Puka would be, and we'll talk about this fancy football-wise with Paul Charchian during our show in the 1 o'clock hour today.
Plug.
Is that he had 17 touches last week, and you worry on a short week today. He's had injury history this year and throughout his career. So are they going to pull back a little bit on the touches? That's the only thing that scares me. I actually would rather. What's his anytime touchdown number right now? That'd be an area I'd be interested in for Puka. Over 7 catches scares me a bit if he doesn't get the same target share.
He's going to get 8 catches, and he's got Kyron Williams still in that backfield, and he's got Puka Nacua next to him as well.
Yeah, that would be the only thing that scares me a bit. Now, if you're talking about fantasy football, obviously you're starting Puka,
every
but
game.
It's a no-brainer.
So Nacua is plus 120 anytime.
Yeah, I like that.
And I want to view more. Cooper Kupp is plus 135.
Yeah, you should check out on FanDuel app. They have something called Your Way now. It's like a new feature they just put out.
It's pretty fun.
And basically you can pick any player in any game, and there's a slider. And so instead of looking at over 6.5 catches or over 72.5 receiving yards, you can, if you think he's getting 104 yards, you can drag the slider over and you'll see the odds adjust and do over 104. You got to be careful with it, but because it's tempting when you see a 30-1 number.
For example, how that would have worked was just go do that to Jamar Chase. His over-under might be 88.5. I think he's going to have 150.
Yeah, if you just think somebody is going off, then absolutely, that's a fun little feature.
That is fun.
Do.
I like the fact that you can do that. Yeah, because I think this week, Jalen Hurts goes off this week. I think A.J. Brown goes off this week.
Over-under 0.5 stolen tweets on the show today from your co-host.
You guys got to work it out. You got to work. He hung up on you too.
He did. I trust me, I'm aware.
You take an over/under 7 and Belichick wins in his first year.
Over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I at first, like you guys, I was stunned that he's going to college, of course. But then you step back and you're like, you know what? It makes sense to have a GM now at programs, and it makes sense to have a cap guy because you're managing the NIL money.
Exactly.
And if he's only going to coach, why wouldn't it work? I'm still stunned that he's doing it, but it makes sense if you step back, especially if you believe that Bill Belichick didn't want to, embarrass himself by not getting hired 2 straight years.
Right. And I think I think that's ultimately what it was. But then Seth Wickersham on ESPN just put out this kind of tell-all article.
He's the master of the tell-all, behind the scenes stuff.
And he's like, Bill's doing it as a big FU to the NFL because he doesn't like where the NFL is headed right now. Basically, where the NFL.
That's true. Go F yourself.
Yeah, right. But that's what it is. This is a guy who's had control. He's had control of everything, and all these other teams are like, all right, you're going to be the coach, but you're not going to be in charge of everything. And Bill's like, I'm not going to live under these conditions. So he goes to North Carolina, brings his cronies with him. Yeah. Is Charlie Weiss going to go down there?
Yeah, maybe his son, because his son's about to be a head coach somewhere soon, I think. Yeah, Charlie Weiss Jr. is going to be a head coach here pretty soon.
Other than Paul Charchian, what's on deck for the...
we won't have Michael Lombardi on the show. He's banned from our show. Really? Yeah, he's not allowed on our show. A couple years ago, we had an interview scheduled with him. Came on the show 3 minutes into the interview. It wasn't that he didn't like the question. He just said, hey, guys, I got to go record a podcast. We already had a scheduled time. It had nothing to do with the question. He had to go record a podcast, so he's banned from the show. He's not allowed on.
Well, he's now the GM of North Carolina. He didn't have time for any of this.
He was over at VSiN, and he was doing gambling shows. Yeah. And now he's the GM of the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Charlie Weiss will have a job. Patricia will have a job. McDaniels will have a job. Maybe they'll hire EB. All the people nobody want anymore in the NFL can go work for Bill Belichick.
It surprised me.
Well, all right, we appreciate it. Thanks for the Goldilocks there here on.
And Cleveland's going to be warmer than we thought.
Yeah, not 8 in snow.
Wrong Cleveland.
Oh gosh, we'll get back into that Wickersheimer guy. Is that his name? Okay, we'll talk about that on the other side and finish out this show before we get to a Friday here on 96.5 The Fan. Your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, let me tell you about my friends over at Jay's Southland Tow. As we get ready to go into the wintertime, you need to have their number ready to rock and roll because a lot of things can happen in the wintertime with your car, right? Number one, it's cold and it doesn't start. You need a jump start. Call Jay's Southland Tow. Maybe you locked your key in the car. You need to get that out, right? Call Jay's Southland Tow. Accidents, going off the road, fender benders, all that can happen. And you need to have the guys at Jay's Southland Tow because when you call them, they will immediately come right out and take care of business for you. You don't have to wait hours on the side of the road for an insurance company to send somebody out. Jay's Southland Tow will be out right away. That's why you got to put their number in your phone so it's ready to go. 816-779-4TOW. That's 816-779-4TOW. It's in your phone. It's ready to go. So when you do have car trouble, you call them and they take care of you right away, just like they did for us. 5:22 on a Friday earlier this year. Call Jay Southland Tow. By 6 o'clock, we were up and running and on our way. 816-779-4TOW or at southlandtow.com. Use the tow service trusted by most local police departments in Tammy from the Weston. It's Jay Southland Tow. There's nothing they can't do, so be in the know and use Jay Southland Tow.
When I wake up
The best mornings
in the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
I pull on my jeans and I feel alright.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started. Good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Pro Paint Days are back at Lowe's. That means it's time to save big on your next job. Right now, get your choice of 5-gallon pails of Valspar Signature Ceiling Paint or HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Flat Ceiling Paint for just $148. Plus, get it delivered to your job site with free same-day delivery when you order by 2 p.m. Lowe's knows paint. Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 12/20. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Welcome to TGL presented by SoFi. Golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line golf. Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour split into 6 teams. Learn more at TGLGolf.com and tune into the inaugural season beginning January 7th. Keep up, it's golf.
We just found out that Daisy Sour Cream launched French onion and ranch sour cream dips. I love dips, and these new dips from Daisy Sour Cream are a game changer. They taste just as good as if they were homemade. They are made with Daisy Sour Cream and real herbs and spices. These new dips from Daisy Sour Cream are made with ingredients that you find in your kitchen, nothing more. Give these new French onion and ranch dips from Daisy a try. They go perfect with chips, wings, veggies, and so much more. Grab some new Daisy dips today.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Are you going to start the new year dealing with the same old joint pain, losing sleep, not able to take walks or do what you love because your knees or hips hurt? Well, don't do it. Take action now to get the pain relief you deserve for 2025. Call QC Kinetics now and say goodbye to shoulder and back pain. QC Kinetics local medical professionals are waiting for you. Their advanced protocols in regenerative medicine have helped tens of thousands of people, and I'm talking about lasting relief. Imagine a new year without those achy joints, no more pain pills, no more steroid shots. QC Kinetics uses the healing properties of your own body to attack the root cause of your pain, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. This is the future of medicine. So set up your appointment today with QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone, 816-412-6299. Andy Reid is a star.
Okay, all right.
Found Mahomes in Texas high schools. Loves Brett Veach and running backs too.
Please make it stop. Thank you. That is Bob's version of Silent Night.
I really started it last night, sitting there on my couch watching nothing because there was nothing on, right?
Are you just doing that by yourself, or is anybody else in the house hearing you do that?
Oh, they're all they just roll their eyes and leave. I mean, yeah. So
That's one way to clear a room.
Yeah, it really is. I started like Chiefs at night, Chiefs at night. Andy Reid found Patrick Mahomes. He and Veach can run the football. Kelsey catches the pass. Kelsey catches the pass.
We can't leave. That's the difference to Dusty. We have to stay.
Dusty left. No, he's gone.
Dusty is gone.
Yeah, dude, I'm checked out.
I'll get
You tell
with
me
it
when
tomorrow.
you hear Silent Night playing, you're not going to be singing that song in your head, right?
Damn it.
No, I'll be lighting that candle for the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tilting to my neighbor next to me in the pew. Here you go, Sandy. Now,
Jameis got run over by Chris Jones trying to play football on Sunday. You may say there's no such thing as sacks, but Chris Jones is here to save the day.
It's impressive.
couple more, you're up there with Cody Tapp.
No, I'm much better than Cody. Mine are hits.
No, I'm saying more songs. You're going to be up there with Cody Tapp. We're going to have that.
Oh, on that same level of where you're mad? Yeah.
Yeah.
I got some more.
Oh, man.
We'll pair these up with music tomorrow.
Please
It's going to be a fun
don't.
Friday.
Please don't. Golly. I mean, you want to hear about my golf game.
That's true.
Holy smokes.
I'll write about 6 today.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I want. There we go.
You're supposed to bake cookies tonight and bring them for everybody at work tomorrow.
Probably not my forte.
Yeah, Cody literally comes through the hallway and he's like, hey, by the way, Alex, I just want you to get like the simple ingredients to make some cookies for tomorrow. And Alex just goes, yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, dude, you got Thursday Night Football. And Cody looks at me and goes, Thursday Night Football. I said, seriously, I don't have time to bake cookies. He goes, you put it on in the background. I said, do us all a favor. Make 3 dozen and say it's from 96.5 The Fan.
Yeah, for real.
God. What I should do is figure out what cookies he's making and steal the recipe and then make them first and send them out.
You should.
So then Cody looks
But
like
you
he
know
made
he's
this-
going to make something that requires like dough to
Yeah.
levitate or something.
Yeah, he's going to be in there with like evaporated milk.
Yeah, exactly. And coconut.
Yeah, kiss my ass, dude.
I'm not doing that.
I'm going to bring in some red-colored, chewy chocolate chip cookies
Yeah.
and Chips Ahoy. And they're not going to leave this studio.
Speaking of red, find me another velvet that's better than red.
Crushed purple velvet.
Yeah, red still tops it.
Prince wore it, and it was sexy.
Andy wins. Chiefs are number 1. Patrick Mahomes is a star. I love watching him play. Hey.
That doesn't work. Somebody on the text line says Winston's nuts roasting on an open fire. And then you just take the rest of it away. Yeah.
Winston. Winston. It doesn't work.
Yeah, no. Sorry, 913.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to let the master do his thing.
Yeah, you do.
Okay,
Yeah.
Somebody says, bad day to have ears. Or a good day.
Andy wins. Oh, Andy wins. The Chiefs are top of the world.
I mean,
Christmas songs a few years ago.
No, I love them, but I mean, like, I was a kid singing like Batman. What is it? Joker spells.
Yeah. Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg,
Yeah.
Batmobile lost its wheel, and Joker got away. Hey!
That's like the you can say that about Burrow because he just bought a Batmobile
Apparently it hasn't come in yet or something.
and he can only drive it a certain amount of times.
Which, by the way, that model's his girlfriend that's living with him that called 911?
It's the word. It's the word on the street.
Explain it. I mean, he was like, I did think that his press conference was great yesterday. He's like, I think my privacy was violated in more ways than one. It's like,
Did you see Tua's press conference yesterday?
He was like, yeah, he said, you coming, man. We got guns.
Yeah, I got armed
I love
guards.
it.
Yeah,
I love
I
it.
think it's great. Yeah,
I
me
mean,
too.
if I was an NFL quarterback, this is now, what, the 3rd time this has happened on a Monday night? Like Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow?
Oh, it's a targeted thing. I mean, we know that. I mean, even Littlefinger had something good yesterday. He goes, the NFL provides you guys protection if you need it, so use it.
look, Tua's response, like people can be like, "Oh, that's just bad for people to hear." I'm like, "No, it's not.
No, it's not,
dude. If they were not at a game and at home, and that's how Sean Taylor got killed.
Right, exactly.
Right, one of the greatest we never got to see. That's how he was murdered. They broke into his house and shot him in the leg, and he bled out.
Right,
like. The world, I mean, I'm not going to go there, but like if an athlete, that happens, it's insane. And like
the money that's involved in professional sports now, Dusty, these guys are targets of
and
this
the way
kind of
that
stuff.
everything is out there for everyone. I remember somebody did like a tour of they did like a drone shot of Mahomes' house.
Channel 9 did it.
And it's like, who are you to do that? Like no
now,
one cares.
Speaking
or
of
they
drones,
put his address up.
Yeah.
It was his address.
Speaking of drones, do you think
Jersey?
Yeah, Jersey, right? But
I saw videos last
Littlefinger,
night and I was kind of like,
my dad keeps sending me these articles. I'm like, have you seen these yet? And he's like, no, but like our neighbors have. They're but like Littlefinger was talking about it yesterday as well too. Can you picture him standing out there in Jersey licking toads, looking up at the sky, smearing mud on his face?
why would he smear mud?
That's what he did back in the day. Yeah, he was rubbing mud all over himself.
I've heard mud baths that are nice.
I've never had one.
I would never do it.
I don't know. I think I'd give it a shot.
Mud bath?
Yeah.
Would you ever go to like those like massage places where they like get real freaky with you, like oil you down on like a bed and like rub your skin real nice?
Is that tangential to the mud thing? I don't know if that's connected.
How quickly does the mud dry?
Fast.
I was gonna say I thought it was pretty quick.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the sound of getting into the mud?
Oh, don't do that.
Because like,
don't do that.
You gonna get mud in every single crevice of your body.
Oh my God, it's never gonna come out.
Like you're gonna pee dirt.
Yeah. Who wants that?
Why is my urine brown? Oh, that's right. A week ago, I had a mud bath.
Mm-hmm.
I would do that. I did see like I don't know why I do this every year on Amazon. It's like you can have a sauna in your house for like $299.
I want a steam room in my house.
You can make one. You just
They're
turn the
like
shower
very.
on, huh?
I know you do, yeah. But it's very expensive to put like $10,000 for a steam room.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be sick though to have one.
Wouldn't you love to
I'd
have your
love
own
it.
steam room? Oh, it would be so good.
That'd be great, man.
Yeah, nobody else is going in there. Like I don't want anybody else's filth in my steam room.
No, I wouldn't invite anybody over for that. Now, I use it at the J all the time. I have no problem. I love the steam room. The sauna, I'm not a fan of.
Really?
It's just like,
Yeah, because you got to get up and pour it over the coals.
it's like a dry heat, you know?
I like the sauna.
Yeah, I kind of like the sauna too.
Yeah,
I like
do
both.
too.
I mean,
Had some-
both of them
The
are
steam
great.
room, I mean, yeah.
Had some weird interactions in the steam room when I was a lifeguard at the
Wiener
Y.
interactions?
Yeah, I didn't say that,
Oh,
but
I think
yeah.
you said wiener interactions. I'm like, what happened to this?
That works too.
Did
Yeah.
you save any lives when you were a lifeguard?
Yeah, I did.
You almost
Did
took
you
the field.
really?
Yeah, well, I taught lessons. It actually wasn't while I was lifeguard. It's while I was teaching swim lessons. But it'd be, I'd be like halfway down the pool with the child, and I'd turn around and I'd like hear flailing, and yeah, I'd go swim, kid.
Oh, wow.
Get
That's
stronger.
cool.
That was great. I loved it, man.
Kick,
Yeah, way to
push,
go.
kick, push.
I'll be home for Chiefs mess. Patrick can count on me.
That's good.
I'll have booze and maybe some food.
Somebody says, who do y'all call Littlefinger? Please do tell. If
No.
you're trying to promote it, you
yeah.
now have to pay the fine.
That's right.
So think about that, text line. Think about that. Man, now I kind of want to go to a steam room.
If it is a genuine question, 816, just go to our stream and ask the chat. The chat will tell you, but we will not.
Patrick's the best
Stop.
damn QB.
Stop.
He can throw the ball real far.
Real far.
Don't encourage it.
You're loving it. I know he
This
is. Look
great.
at him.
What can I say?
Golly, why don't you guys go caroling together? See how long that lasts.
Patrick, the QB.
No. Now you're just forcing it.
It's good.
Oh my gosh. My buddy Connor said you have to pour the water in the steam room too. It makes it extra steamy.
Or you just know where the thermostat is. You pour the water over the thermostat. Like everybody
wow.
does that in the steam room. That's why they break all the time.
You ever got it on in a steam room?
No.
Oh, would you?
No.
If I had my own personal one in my house, yeah.
Steam room
Too
Saturdays?
sweaty.
I like the idea. I also like the idea of going to do something nice for somebody because you never quite know. You could change their day, week, month, or year. It is the holiday season for all the cheer and all the love. Stay cool, stay kind, stay safe. Kansas City coming up next. It's Cody Golden Drew from 10 to 2 here on 96.5 The Fan.
to Fescoe and